literally no use for that at all. You can barely remember to fucking upload the damn thing.
Well, we're demonetized.
Okay. Oh, great. Fantastic timing. First 10 seconds. Well, since we're already demonetized, we can just say fuck it as often as we want. Yeah, fuck it. Fuck everything.
Fuck. Hi, everybody. It's been weeks and weeks, but we are back. BSUP somehow has returned. And we bring along... what's the weirdest thing that we don't bring along is there's no Andrew. It makes me feel weird. He's
Where is Andrew?
I know, like, this is why he doesn't get to be on the thumbnail, even though he's on 99.9% of episodes, because this, he's just not here. He said he got a job, I guess, and he has to work or whatever. So
he's finally left school.
Yeah.
I only agreed to be here because I thought Andrew would be here. So,
well,
are you leaving?
Yeah,
you can leave.
I'll stick around. I'm already here, I guess.
You seemed a little excited there, Ian.
No. You leaving? God, this Venom trailer looks crap. Sorry.
Oh wait, let me introduce everyone before we get into that. I do want to talk about that. Okay. Yeah, we'll start with you. Hi, Mega Geek. It's been a little while since you've been on this stream. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right, actually. I'm doing all right. I'm still potting around and trying to make a living and blah, 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 that kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm doing okay. Obviously, I've been on streams with Little Platoon a lot. So there you go.
Mr. Brown Alliance.
Mr. Brown's Alliance. Yeah.
Yes. How's the filmmaking going? How's Rebecca?
It's going. Yeah, it's going okay. I'm running out of money though. That's the problem. I'm hoping to complete it by the end of this year, and then I can screen it end of this year, and then you guys can rip it apart because that's what you guys do.
That's right.
That's right.
We have Zack Snyder 2.0 over here.
If you turn the lead character into like a black disabled dwarf, you can apply, can't you, to the British Film Institute for some sort of diversity grant, and that will give you more money. Is it too late to do that? Like midway through season 2?
Probably not. But you know what? Right, I'm looking for an agent, and I found one, and I was talking to the lady on the phone, and then she said, "Oh yeah, I'll send you my picture and stuff." Like she sent me a picture. The girl's got blue hair. And I'm like, oh, they're not gonna represent me.
Hey.
When I open my mouth, they're not gonna represent me. So there you go. So I'm looking for another agent now.
Don't shame people with blue hair. Dude. Come on.
So there you go.
Don't you get like you don't get any credit for being like black?
No, well, no, because I don't have the patois, do I? So
just act gay. There you go.
Yeah, what if you're black and gay?
I think they're just so old fashioned as diversity types now. Like we've had black people for ages, and gay people have been around for a while. People are sort of bored of those now. You have to have some new claim to diversity. Say you have a vagina.
Yeah, just say you're trans. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I could say that. Do I have to have my hair blue as well?
Yes,
it's a bonus.
Probably.
I mean, that'll help you.
Or an afro.
I can help you with that.
Yeah, you can.
Vex, how's it going? It's been a little while.
It has been a little while. You know what? I could complain, but honestly, shit's been coming together in my life lately, so I'm good.
Well, good. Are you coming to America still?
Yes, and I'm still waiting on that, but I figured out other things in the meantime. So
okay. Well, that sounds mysterious.
Oh, okay. Okay. I have a lot of health problems, and it's been an issue for many different things. And I finally found something that works for me, and I've gone down 2 pant sizes in almost 3 months.
Oh, holy shit! That's amazing.
Congratulations!
Yeah. Congrats!
Thank you.
Well done.
So you got AIDS, basically.
I got AIDS. Basically, yes.
That'll do it.
Really making the most of this demonetization. It's really liberating. I like it.
But no, I took a hiatus from videos, but now I'm editing a video again. So we're back to YouTube as well.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, you're working on a Furiosa video that's going to ruffle some feathers, I take it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I've heard a review. I'm going to listen to a review as well. Because we were on Brown, weren't you, when you told us exactly how you felt about that one?
Well, I
Right,
wasn't.
Vex?
Yeah, but I'm not going like straightforward like a review like everyone else is doing. Like, oh, it's woke, it's garbage, female protect. No, I'm like, this is just not a good Fury Road prequel, specifically, and here's why. So I'm approaching that angle instead.
Well, we'll get into that. I definitely want to hear that. And Backface.
Hey,
Hi. How are
what's
you?
up? I'm chilling.
Good.
Yeah, I moved. I have windows now. It's great.
He does. He does. Look at that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing.
Basement windows.
No, it's second floor.
Oh.
Second floor windows, which is nice. I can't drum in my apartment anymore, which is making me kind of sad. But you know, life is life. It's chilling.
And you're doing some like new video editing for Scene Invaders, right?
No, I'm a part of the team over at Scene Invaders, which is lots of fun. We talk about things that we like. It's so nice. It's such a nice
what's
change.
that
Ah, it's so you wake up and you're happy. And you're making a video and you're like, this is fun. This is so fun. But yeah, no, it's tight. So I've been doing a lot on Scene Invaders. We cover like more obscure Apple shows more often. But we have like a nice stacked schedule coming up, which will be cool. And then I haven't posted on Bagface in like 3 months, even though my name still says Bagface. Yeah, but I've been writing a new video. I'm just gonna turn it into my emo diary, which will be nice. Everyone will get to know my insides.
That's like the most emo way of doing that too. It's so neat.
I know. Yeah,
you'll love that shit. Like the emo fans will love an emo diary.
Oh yeah, I'm stoked.
I mean, I'm a former emo myself, as you saw.
Oh,
and what was the video you put that in, by the way?
Oh,
I think it was the Godzilla video.
Yeah, the edit,
which is funny because everyone was so mad at me about that video that like no one even commented on the picture of me as like an emo, as an emo kid playing guitar.
Well, which one? The X one, Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla X Kong. He put
right.
Backface put an Easter egg in of I showed him pictures from like 2009 when I was in like this 2-piece garage band.
Like the bangs. Oh,
yeah, I had the emo swoop that had the whole thing, and it's
Bring
in
it
that
back.
video.
Bring
And
it back.
Like maybe someone commented on it, but I think there's like 5,000 comments on that video, and it's all just like, "Bro, you suck." And that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Go kill yourself. So much yapping.
Yeah, something
Just
like
the,
that.
The usual set of absolute fucking retardation from that fan base.
But yeah, thanks for being here, everyone, and minus Andrew, which is weird, like I said. But I wanted to talk about I wanted to talk about Furiosa last week, but now it's been a couple weeks, and it definitely is a flop. It kind of shit itself in its second weekend. I wanted to get your thoughts on it, if anyone's seen it, and kind of discuss like why is this movie really flopping? Because I think the general narrative is a little more nuanced this time around.
I have a question just before we do, which is why did anybody expect it to make money?
I mean, that's going to be my argument.
Yeah, because I didn't realize that I'm not a big Mad Max fan. I still haven't had time to see Furiosa. But just because it came up on one of the fucking thousands of streams I'm on at the moment, did look into Fury Road. Fury Road lost money, and this is a prequel to a film that lost money. So why is it surprising that it hasn't made money? I don't see what the whole flop conversation's about. That it's not surprising, surely.
The question you got to ask yourself is, where did he get the money from? See that when you find that out, you know the answer to why they made a sequel.
Well,
okay, that stumped everyone.
So hold on. Fury Road flopped though because there were so many issues behind the scenes when it came to location shoots, and that drove up the budget a lot. I read the production book. Okay, it's fucking phenomenal, by the way. I highly recommend everyone read it. But it goes into detail about how they literally had to switch locations 3 times and move all the shit around, delay production, hire new people, because that was driving up budget. At one point, it was associated with Fox because George Miller had that lawsuit in the early 2000s after they fired him from Justice League. So he got the IP back, and then they moved it to Fox. Fox canceled it for budget reasons as well. So I think that's the bigger reason. The other thing, too, is for Furiosa specifically, I think the marketing shot this one in the foot before it even had legs to stand on. You don't make a trailer. First of all, you don't name it Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, because your general audience seeing this is fucking retarded and can't tell that this is a side story. And then second of all, the her story stuff. You didn't need to put all of that. So and then the trailer on top of that was not very exciting. You had just like a lot of CGI effects that we've seen everywhere, a lot of green screen we've seen everywhere. It looks like a step down both in tone and in visuals compared to, say, that Fury Road trailer that came out back in 2014, 2015. So I feel like those are the bigger things working against it. Unfortunately, the Memorial Day weekend is also a weird, like that's a weekend for America. So you put something that's American in that release window.
Well, I
Right?
guess so. Like Memorial Day weekend has been the kind of launching pad for the start of the summer movie season for a while. Like for probably 20 years. It started like pushing back further and further into the start of the month, and then I think around Avengers Infinity War, or maybe it was like Captain America Civil War, where they're like, well, how about the last week of April? And that felt like the start of the summer movie season. But Memorial Day weekend typically was always like a massive box office going weekend. So like other major movies have opened over that weekend, like the X-Men movies used to back in the early 2000s. I remember like one of the biggest weekends ever. It was a record, was when what was that disaster movie? The Day After Tomorrow opened. And then another major movie opened. They both earned like $80 million over the same weekend. It was like fucking crazy. So that weekend has always been unbelievably important. As far as that weekend goes, I think that really speaks to, like, they put Furiosa there. Like they have nothing for the summer.
Garfield was there too, and that didn't even perform very well, which everyone seems to be skipping over and saying that, female film killed the bot. No, nobody's seeing a fucking cartoon cat with Chris Pratt as well, and he's usually box office gold.
Well, we are seeing the downfall of Hollywood, and especially cinemas as well. It's gonna get worse before it gets. I don't think it's gonna get better because of the streaming and stuff. Because hardly anybody knew Furiosa was coming out in the UK. I think I saw one advert on a bus for it, and that bus was moving quite fast. So, so I don't think anyone cared really as well, because the last film didn't make a lot of money in the UK. And I remember my friend said he went to see it and he thought it was going to be a Mad Max film, and he got really upset because one, Mel Gibson wasn't in it, and two, the guy playing Mad Max was hardly in the film or was pushed to the side. Because I saw it once, but I just think it's big. Well, it's multiple reasons, but the main reason I think is because that films, when they come out now, they don't stay in the cinema. They stay in there for 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks later they're on streaming. So people just want to watch it at home, don't they?
Is it true that now it's more lucrative for all of these studios to just sell the streaming rights than to pay to keep it in the cinemas? I saw that somewhere, but I don't know how accurate that is.
I don't know.
Because
I don't know, but
I see
know
there's
with major
movies that
things.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to add on, like, I see, like, there's a few movies I've seen that, they sold for $20 million to Amazon, $30 million to Netflix for the rights. And that seems to be better than spending the money to just keep it in the cinema, when that seems to be more or less a dying entertainment medium for a lot of people.
Also, I'll tell you one thing, okay? I just learned this over the weekend because I have a friend that works in acquisitions, and he just came back from Cannes, and he said that Guy Ritchie's film, the last film he did, was a huge flop, right? But that doesn't matter anymore because his film sold around the world, and get this, for 4 million. All the lower ends bought that film because Guy Ritchie's name was attached to it for 4 million. So it's coming to the point where they don't care what it makes in the cinema, as long as they can sell it to other countries and get more than what they've spent on it. And it looks like Guy Ritchie's film, which is a huge flop in the cinema, is getting more than what it cost just by selling it to lower end countries and big countries. So they, and also, do you hear about that horror film? What is it? Honey, what is it? The one that with Winnie the Pooh?
Blood and Honey.
Blood and Honey.
Yeah, they're
That
making a
makes
second one.
6 million, right, on one sale only.
Mhm.
And I'm not lying. My friend says this is the truth. 6 million, and that film didn't cost 100,000 or 200,000, some nonsense like that. So it is. The power of having films in the cinemas is shifting away from the cinema. Plus the fact that if you take your family to the cinema, you're coughing up 100 quid just to bloody
I
see a
don't
movie.
buy that
You know what I mean?
argument, in all honesty. Like, there's
No?
plenty of cinemas that have like the monthly offers where you can get discounted tickets, you
Yeah.
can get free tickets, unlimited showings. You don't have like, it even gives you discounts on all the concessions. If people are willing to spend like $40 on Kylie Jenner lip gloss, I can believe that they'll spend the money to take their family to the fucking cinema. So I
No,
don't buy that shit whatsoever.
no, but the thing is though, right? So the discounts you get is like, it's not very good. It's like 10% off certain things, and you
Yeah.
still end up paying a lot of money, you know?
And that
You pay
also,
over
like,
100 quid. Sorry, go ahead.
it's their money to spend, and they don't see the value in it, even with those discounts.
Yeah.
Well, this is where the marketing then comes into play, right? And I've noticed this increasingly more and more, and it was with the Venom trailer that came out this morning too. I no longer have, you're not giving me a reason to go watch a movie anymore. You're putting your entire plot, all your big points in a 3-minute, 4-minute long trailer. You're releasing multiple 3 to 4-minute trailers. And at that point,
Yeah.
I've seen the whole movie. So, what incentive are you really giving me as a consumer and as a viewer to drive to the theater to spend the money on a ticket to actually see it on the big screen? Like, because look at the marketing for like Oppenheimer or Barbie. If we take away the Barbenheimer thing altogether, the trailer for Barbie was actually pretty awesome. Like, it just dropped kind of like what Barbie's purpose or adventure was going to be through the film, but it didn't tell you what the outcome was going to be. It didn't spoil some of the best parts of the movie either. It dropped just enough to bait your interest. I'm not getting that with most trailers anymore.
What, Venom?
Well, with a lot of these superhero movie trailers and stuff over the last 20 years, which have been like dominant in the box office, like they account for massive a percentage of the total each year. That's always kind of been a complaint, though. Like just trailers giving away massive portions of the movie.
Never
So
used
I
to
don't.
do that though, did it?
I don't remember trailers because I
Yeah.
remember being able to watch the first trailer for something. I'd be like, yo, this looks great. I actually want to go to the cinema, and I don't live close to a cinema. So like I actually want to drive out and go watch it. And now I just see all these. And I'm like, I can wait for streaming or, a Indian copy.
I don't mind it. Like as like a reviewer, it's good. It's helpful because it means that I don't have to use pirated footage as much because all of the important like footage is already in the trailer, so I can just clip from that. It's really helpful. So I don't mind them doing it in that sense. But I think you are right. Like trailers are now just telling you exactly what is in the movie, as opposed to being a bit more artful in trying to convince you why it's worth seeing. They don't know how to do that without telling you what it is. Which
Yes.
is a lost art of advertising. I think I like watching the old original trailers for like the first Star Wars movie, and it's just it's so old timey but
That's
quaint and
old.
charming. It's like
Yeah.
rejoin your friends R2D2 and C3PO on another spectacular adventure. More of that. Bring that back.
Yeah, the Empire and Star Wars trailers, they're really odd because they're really old trailers. So they don't have the flow of the trailers that me and you are used to. But Return of the Jedi did. Return of the Jedi's trailer was pretty good, actually. But you're right about trailers now. They even do this thing on YouTube where they show the first 6 minutes of the film. You ever see that sometimes? Like, why? Why would you do that? Anyway.
Or like a long extended fight scene or something that they are really proud of. Like the clip from Echo of just that long, supposedly one take, one shot fight scene. That's going to get us really interested in what we're going to see next. It's kind of a desperation thing, I think. It's like they do that because people are not interested in what they're putting out anyway. So they think, well, we have to find some other new way of selling it. I think the Acolyte has done something similar as well. Like you get more and more footage coming out of that in a bit to make people interested. But like it's very hard to make people interested in slop. So good luck to them.
You're different. I mean, you may disagree with me, but we're dealing with a different generation of people now. I mean, I love going to the cinema, but my nieces and my nephews, cinema is the last thing they want to do. over the weekend or anything like that. So you're dealing with different people. And let me tell you this little story, right? This is how bad it is. Okay. So my niece wanted to watch The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. Okay. So I've got two of my nieces and they're sitting there, right? So I watched this film, it's really good. So they're on their phone for the first 20 minutes because The Thing's it takes 20 minutes to get going, right? First monster that comes up, their phones are dropped. They're definitely paying attention to it. Then that scene where the bit where the guy has a heart attack and which I and the teeth opens and cuts the, my niece grabbed the control off me and sped it up, right? Because she couldn't take it anymore. See, this is what you're dealing with now. Kids can't deal. They can't deal with it anymore. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what are you doing? Yeah. I was like, what?
That's a whole other can of worms, in all honesty, if we're talking about that generation. But yeah, it doesn't help that all they want to do is stay inside now in their free time and do nothing.
I feel like that generation is, creeping up to the 20s, mid 20s, which is a good chunk of where box office used to come from. I feel like it's also like, I don't know, we kind of skipped over the price of tickets things, but I feel like that's a real issue because you can't just look, like if you look at inflation, right? Like ticket sales and concession prices pretty much match inflation rates. Like they haven't really gone up that much. In some cases, they've gone down. But if you look at the cost of living for everything else, and then you look at what people have earned versus inflation since like the 90s, it's just plummeted. So like people have less money, plus everything else is more expensive now, like groceries and car payments, and fucking God forbid you have a mortgage because that just sucked up all your money that you could have spent anywhere else. I feel like it's like an actual huge portion of why, because when I don't know, when I think about discretionary spending, cinema is probably the first thing to go if I'm broke. I'm like, hey, I'll wait for this, especially when a movie comes out in fucking 3 weeks on streaming.
1,000.
And then
that's the other big thing, right? Because you are in direct competition at that point. You're asking people effectively to pay twice to see a movie. If it's a Disney movie, you're saying, hey, go see it at the cinema and pay quite a lot of money for a movie ticket, whilst also shouldering the debt you've got and the mortgage and all the rest of that. At the same time, odds are you've got a streaming service already. You are already paying $10, $12, $15 a month to get a streaming service, which has a huge range of things on it, and it might well be the film that they're asking you to pay more to go and see at the cinema. Is it actually adding enough of value to go and see it in the cinema that you can't replicate just by waiting for 3 weeks in some cases for it to come onto the streaming thing you're already paying for? Obviously not. So why would you bother? They are in direct competition. As long as they keep doing it that way and just saying, well, yeah, there'll be literally no gap between cinema ending and streaming service beginning, then you're not incentivizing people to spend the little money they have to go to the cinema to begin with.
I also think like the pandemic kind of fucked etiquette up in theaters. I've just noticed there's a lot of times where if I don't go see, like I went and saw Dune opening night, perfect. No one on their phone, no one talking, no assholes. It's fucking sweet. But if you wait like a week, then half the audience, like you'll see like at least 10 phones pop up during the movie, and like someone's like filming the screen and then putting it on their story, and I'm like, what?
Does that actually happen in America?
1,000%. Last year, I was in the. I still go to this fucking theater. I don't even know why. There's 100 theaters around here, and I always go to this one. I don't know, but last year I was watching that Dracula movie with Nick Cage.
Renfield.
Renfield.
Yeah. Well, these like teenagers that like older teenagers, they must have been bored with whatever movie they were watching because they came in halfway through. They were taking selfies and like putting their feet up and fucking screaming. So like there's no one in the theater because there's never anyone in the theater anymore. So like I moved all the way across the theater and they were still so fucking loud. Like they came over and sat in the middle. So someone, I wasn't going to be that guy, but like someone decided to be and went and told on him. And like there are cops in the theater because that's how rowdy it gets. And they came and got out. And I finally felt like ballsy enough to stand up and clap. And they like they stopped and stared at me. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like I'm going to get fucking murdered by teenagers when I leave this movie. So I like the entire time I was just terrified. But when I walked outside, like there are just cops just fucking everywhere because at that same theater, like a 70-person fight broke out like just a month ago.
Oh wow!
And I still go to that one. I don't even know why. Like,
what was the movie over that they were fighting to?
I have no idea.
The Blade Runner re-release. It's Deckard the Replicant.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't happen in England because when somebody actually puts their phone on, somebody shouts at them. So I mean, even when it's half full, or even if it's like 5 people in there, they don't really. Well, where I go, they don't really do that. Sometimes you'll get a light that comes on halfway through, and it's only on for a little bit, and then it closes off. But I've never been in the cinema where. Huh? Sorry.
Said that the 70-person fight must have been the whole fucking theater.
Oh, right.
I've definitely yelled at people on their phones before. And they do not give a fuck here. They're like,
yeah, I told them to shh, and they don't do anything either.
Yeah. If I stand up, usually if I stand up and I'm like, I'm a huge black guy, they're like, okay. But if I stay seated, no one ever does a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
That's one of the big disincentives. People are just shit. Like massive disincentive to going to the cinema is just other people, and you don't get that problem if you're at home. So like you are also paying to put up with stuff that you don't necessarily have to put up with. That's like an etiquette thing. And then you've got the decline generally of event films anyway, because those have sort of finished now. Like, you know, it's not that long ago that people were flocking to see whatever the latest Marvel film was. It's only like, is it 2019 is Endgame? So it's only really sort of the last 5 years. And yes, COVID has taken place, but it's not coincidental, I don't think, that pretty much every major film, with a few exceptions, and notably the few exceptions get loads of people into the seats. Most films are just shit. Why do you want to go and see it? Dune is really popular. Loads of people went to see it. Barbie, Mario. There are still films which have this immense pull, and people will pay and go and see them. But why should they pay extra to go and see just like Marvel film number 563 featuring TV character no one's ever heard of? That's not going to get me on there.
20, 30 years ago, there was a huge difference between what cinema was and what TV was. And that line is so blurred now. Like it's
definitely blurred completely and totally.
The true test, I feel, will be Deadpool Wolverine. Because if that shit flops, I would hop on the theaters are dead bandwagon.
It's not going to flop.
It's not going to flop. I know it's not going to flop. But I guess I say this all the time, but my judge of whether a movie's going to do well or not is if my mother is excited to see it, because she's
that's good judge.
Normal as it gets. Yeah. And Furiosa, both my parents are like, yeah, we love Mad Max. We'll watch it when it comes on streaming. Like, yeah, fair. I haven't gone and seen it yet. I feel like I'm participating in the flop, on purpose now, because it just is more fun that way.
If we can segue the conversation back to Furiosa as a film, though, I understand why it is flopping. It's not a very good movie, and it's not because of the woke girl boss shit that I see a lot of people complaining about that haven't even seen the fucking movie.
It's just a preconceived. I mean, that's an assumption.
Yeah. It's just a really sloppy film. That's all it is. Like, I don't know why George felt like. So this was originally supposed to be a short run anime before Fury Road came out, and his city was like, oh no, I gotta make this a full film. And I'm just like, okay George, all right. And then it comes out, I'm just like, so I went to go see it in IMAX because Fury Road, like, just technically, even if you don't agree with the story, technically it's quite a masterpiece, right? So I went to IMAX to see it, and I'm just like, this sound design is shitty. There's so much green screen everywhere. I'm looking at just special effects for 90% of the film. Everything looks like too manicured for a nuclear wasteland backdrop. It was just, and the pacing was absolutely horrendous on top of that. Like, I was checking, like, my watch for the time almost every 15 minutes. It dragged on so slowly. So it's just as a film, and I see that a lot of people are giving it a lot of praise. I think if it were its own movie detached from the Mad Max IP, it might have had a little bit better to stand on. But as a prequel specifically to another film, I think it's a very poor attempt.
Yeah, that's what I felt too.
No, to each their own, right? I just find listen, I've been going insane. Okay, I've just been consuming like Mad Max content for about 2 weeks now. So I'm just looking at it for what Miller was trying to do in Fury Road versus what I'm getting in Furiosa. And he's even said in a couple interviews, you can watch them back to back as like 1 4-hour film. it's not seamless, and he seems to disregard a lot of what he did in Fury Road in order to justify giving Furiosa her own film.
Mm.
Yeah, it was bloated too. 2.5 hours was a little much.
Way too much.
But no, I said that in my review too, that if it was kind of an independent thing away from Mad Max, it probably would be better. But because I'm going to constantly be comparing it to the previous movie, which is just inevitable,
that's fair, though, as well.
Yeah, and it is. I think it's fair because it's directly related to the last movie. And it made me be like, yeah, this movie's pretty good. And it's like, you're almost 80. Why'd you choose to make this one? I didn't see it. It's like a fun distraction, but it didn't seem like it was worthy of its own story.
It wasn't.
If you're strained for time, which I think George Miller might be. So
strained for money as well. Wasn't the original Mad Max done on a budget of something like $100,000?
$350,000.
Yeah, and it made over 100 million. Like it is possible to. It's like that's an incredibly rare exception. It did break records for that. But I think it's another sort of the like consequence of the Marvelification of cinema is that everyone spends and is willing to spend these huge amounts of money because they're all aiming for the big $1 billion. Like, okay, fine. If you're spending $200 million on a thing and you think I might make $1 billion back, it might make sense. That's not usual. Like, films didn't used to do that. Marvel was a very rare period of time over the course of a decade, actually. It was a rare and extended period of time where people thought, no, there's a realistic chance that I can spend 200 million and make $1 billion. But most of the time that isn't true. There's no reason to be spending. What was the budget for Fury Road? Sorry, not Fury Road, for Furiosa?
168 million.
168 million, or like one season of The Acolyte. Like, it's too much money for the cinema, let alone the TV. But they all seem to be doing it. All the costs have been driven up because everyone is chasing this higher and higher and higher box office return that most films will never ever meet. If you'd done it on half the budget, then maybe it would make sense. But there's no, like, a prequel that no one was particularly looking for, featuring a character nobody is that interested in, featuring a story that clearly isn't that inspired, which is an afterthought. It's the least interesting parts that were left out of Fury Road to begin with. There is no reason to be spending over $100 million on that movie. And yet,
that's the funny point of it. It's like, this is left out of Fury Road for a reason, because it wasn't as interesting.
Thing is, though, when you have that amount of money, you can see him getting lazy. Because if you look at Mad Max 2 and they had very little money, obviously he was pushing it and he probably had everything down. He had these storyboards, he had his shot list, whatever. But I find through experience, if you have a lot of money, then you really get lazy in doing stuff, and you rely on the money aspect of things. So my thing is, if I was a studio, I wouldn't give any film that amount of money. I just give them
especially not
that's all right, if you know what I mean. So sorry, go ahead.
Especially not when the last movie made $380 million.
Exactly.
It's probably it's made a profit by now. It's been 9 years. It was on streaming and everything. But it was questionable if it was even successful in the theater, if it even broke even. The reason why this movie was able to get made is because that movie, Fury Road, was nominated for Best Picture. It gives you some prestige and some leverage.
Wow.
And really, 9 years later, only having an $18 million higher budget than the last movie, that was 150. That's not too bad. And the reality is, we've been looking at $200 to $250 million budgets for a while as like this barometer of what a blockbuster is going to cost. So 168 isn't bad. But it's, I mean, compared to those budgets, but it's still not enough to even break even.
Did you like the last one though? Did you like?
I did like Fury Road.
I loved Fury Road.
I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was as good as everybody was saying it was.
I watched it out of, I had no, I'd only ever seen the Mad Max movies once. I basically had forgotten them. Like, I didn't even know what this movie was about. And my friend just put it on. I had no interest in watching it. And I was just really pleasantly surprised. I was like, wow, this is actually really great. And that was the one time I watched it 9 years ago. So
9 years ago.
That's my feedback. 9 years, watched it once.
I think the reason I think it does so, at least for me, why it does so well is it's rare that I can watch a movie that is so full throttle, like 90% of that movie is just fucking maxed out. And
Yes.
usually my brain just turns into fuzz and I lose interest. But somehow it's one of those few movies that can do that, and the whole time I'm hooked. It's like it's like perfectly balanced. The flow of the movie. Yeah, I don't know. It's not my favorite movie ever, but I feel like it's definitely technically like edited and shot and directed. It's pretty immaculate, I would say.
Yeah, when I went back and looked at a lot of footage from Fury Road when I was doing the script for Furiosa, I was like, wow, that movie looks way better than Furiosa. It came out almost a decade ago.
I also like, I don't because I know, Ian, you mentioned earlier that like a bigger budget kind of makes you lazy.
Yeah,
I don't feel like that was necessarily, I don't know, just watching all of the behind the scenes stuff with George Miller, even just like on Fury Road, watching the behind the scenes here, like listening to him like talk in depth about kind of the vision and the way he works, and even seeing like his very close like friends and like work colleagues say the same about him. I feel like he's one of those directors where you can't apply the big budget equals lazy thing. He's also stated a couple times that COVID really fucked up the production of this film, because this was announced about a year after Fury Road came out. So this has been it's been ready to go for some time. And then they started like the actual pre-production and casting right before all the lockdowns started.
Okay, I'd just like to say something about the making of things, right?
Sure.
The making of things are bollocks, right? They're not going to tell you the arguments they had on set, or the fights that they had on set, or how the cameraman dropped the camera into a lake, or anything like that.
I mean, they do that for Fury Road. There's a whole book detailing all the fucking shit that went down there. So,
Vex,
like, for George Miller.
Vex, all that stuff is controlled. Believe you me, right? All of it's controlled. I swear, I've been on films, right? I've been on films where people have literally had fist fights. And then when you see the making of, they're like, yeah, man, I get on with him. He's so funny and all that rubbish. And it's like, no, he isn't. Do you know what I mean? So I wouldn't believe everything that you see in the making of. Definitely not.
And I find like everything. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I finished. Go on.
Oh, I was just like, everything I've seen from him specifically, like I can believe him more than some of these other directors, right? So that's why like I can drop my defense a little bit, because otherwise I would agree with you, right? Because we all know that a lot of this shit in Hollywood is manufactured to elicit a response, right? Any publicity is good publicity. But I don't know. I don't get that feeling from this. And I find like watching George Miller talk about his interests and how he works and everything, it's remained consistent for like 20 years of interviews. So
there's this story, right? You ever see what's that Spielberg film, The Post? Anybody see that one?
No.
Right. So there's this story that Tom Hanks tells that there's meant to be this scene in it where they're all talking, him and Mel Streep and all them, they were talking, and they had their line set down, whatever, and they practiced the night before in the hotel room, and they knew it was coming the next day, right? So they all get into position and the camera's rolling, and Spielberg tells the cameraman to follow a guy holding a box that goes past them while they're talking, right? And the way Tom Hanks tell it is that, you know, Spielberg is he's so intelligent that we didn't even know he was doing that, blah, blah, blah. But then some of the other actors that was involved in that was like, fuck, man, he made us do all that stuff and they didn't even shoot us. We practiced so hard, they didn't even shoot. And some of them are really angry. So that's what I'm saying. You can't trust these things. You really can't, because they say a lot of stuff, but what's reality is reality, and what's selling the film is what's selling the film, right?
A lot of times the studios these days are actually too incompetent to make any kind of real controls on that sort of process. There's like the making of for Multiverse of Madness, when you'll have the director literally saying to camera, yeah, that was just a result of me not knowing what I was doing with the script. It's like, that's not control. The Acolyte, again, I keep coming back to it because I've been doing lots of like the pre-coverage for the press, that, you know, you will have a studio run, controlled, orchestrated, pre-recorded interview where one of the main character, one of the actors says, oh yeah, that bit when Anakin blew up the Death Star, maybe that wasn't so good. It's like, no one told you to shut up. They could have stopped that. They didn't, because they're all fucking incompetent. But Princess Fiona does bring up the good points. So like the counterpart to laziness, I think sometimes with big budgets and directors who've been doing it for a very long time, it's indulgence is the other risk. Laziness on the one side and indulgence on the other. Fiona points out, like in the case of like the Star Wars prequels, no one could tell George
the Matrix sequels.
The Matrix is a really good example as well. You've got a combination of immense amounts of money and immense amounts of power. and very few restrictions. So you can literally do anything you want. And then the director will say, oh, wouldn't it be amazing if we have like the busiest scene ever? We can have this happen, and explosions and CGI spaceships. Like, okay, but no, have you considered not doing that? Maybe there's a cheaper and better way of doing it, which makes the story improved. And no one's around to say no. And that's the problem. Like, if you have these big budgets, the other side of it, the indulgent side of it, is that actually quite often the cheaper and harder way of doing something, the smaller the scale is, the better it turns out to be. Because more thought has to go into it, and you actually have to look at it, and you have to say, is this absolutely the best way I could make this scene? And whereas if you've got infinite amount of money, you can just say, oh, fuck it, it'll do. And that's just, I don't know if that's true of Furiosa, or I have not seen it yet, but it does quite often happen with like big name directors. I suspect the same thing's going to happen with, is it Megalopolis, Coppola's film? He spends a huge amount of money, his own money on it.
Oh my God.
And I don't know, from what I've heard, it makes no sense at all. But I haven't seen that one yet either. Maybe it will be brilliant.
I heard just give it 20 years and you'll think it's great.
But I heard that no distributors wants to pick it up either. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true.
I saw that too.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy, right? I feel sorry for him actually, because he spent 20 years of his life trying to get that film off the ground, and now he had a 15-minute standing ovation in Cannes. And now nobody wants to buy it. So
is it just because it's a financial risk at this point? But it's his own money, so nobody's losing anything, right?
Yeah.
He sold his own vineyard to make that movie. He sold the thing that makes wine to make that movie. He's like the opposite of a Greek god. He's bad. I don't agree with that decision at all.
I don't know. It is true. The little money that you've got, the more imaginative you have to be, and the faster you have to shoot. Do you know what I mean? Because if you've got a crap load of money and you are a famous director, you would smell your own farts and think it smells great. Do you know what I mean? So, it is right. It is right. Budget should not be that big at all for any movie.
I'm actually very with the turnout for Furiosa and the quality, especially of it, because Tom Hardy is signed on for 3 Mad Max films.
Why?
Really? And they didn't want to fucking use him for this. I didn't even know that. I would have
so what the plan was is, again, so George, this was going to be an anime, but George was like, no, she needs her own film. So then after Fury Road came out, they announced that a Furiosa prequel was in the works. COVID happened and that delayed, and then we got this film. But Hardy is still, in 2017, he announced that he was signed on for 3. The next one is like a Wasteland project, which George Miller says he's got the script more or less worked out for it. Like, he knows what he wants to do. But I'm just wondering, like, will the studio even bother at this point? Because now it's 2 films back to back, technically, that have been flops.
Am I the only ones to say that they shouldn't have made this shit? They should have just got Mel Gibson back, no matter what, and go, oh man, Mad Max. That's what they should have done. Because that's
you want to see a
fucking
wanted, bomb, right? Dude. You want to see a bomb? Bring Mel Gibson back to head a movie, dude. Holy shit!
I'm telling you.
I don't know how they depends on how they market it. Look how they marketed Halloween.
Yeah,
like that movie franchise had never had a movie hit $100 million, and they marketed it so well that it opened to like 70 million and it made like 180 million bucks. I think like 130 million domestic. They could market it right, but I also just I don't even think that's the right move anyway. I think everyone was pleased with Tom Hardy, and I read that Miller and Gibson mutually decided that he wouldn't play Mad Max anymore because he was just too old. Like he would, but he just felt like he was too old.
So he wouldn't play Mad Max, but he'll play Martin Riggs in the up-and-coming Lethal Weapon film.
He's directing that.
Max and Riggs, they're different characters.
Yeah, they are. So Mel Gibson is directing the next Lethal Weapon, first of all. But a lot of people don't know Mel Gibson was originally signed on for Fury Road, and we would have gotten Sigourney Weaver as Furiosa.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, if it went into production in 2003, right? But then it kept getting delayed, and then Warner Brothers wanted, Miller to work on like Happy Feet and Babe and all of that stuff. Mel Gibson was already just like in 2001, 2002, like, dude, I'm approaching 50. I don't know if I want to do this. So it took a lot of convincing to get him on board over 20 years ago. But he's moved on from the role. He doesn't want to do it. Like Cynic said, they had a mutual agreement. Tom Hardy even went to Mel Gibson physically, and Gibson gave his blessing. There's footage of Mel Gibson on the red carpet for Fury Road at one of the screenings as well. He's done with the role. so people can keep asking for it, but it's not going to happen.
I-
Everyone's moved on from
if
it.
I was in charge, I would have got Mel Gibson. I would have chucked a truckload of money at him and say, right, come back, because I reckon people will hit the cinema if Mel Gibson was in that.
I'm sure I
He
did see
signed
someone pitch like a version of that movie where it is like it's an old Mel Gibson playing an old Max, and like he's retired sort of. He's got his own little commune somewhere, which is nice and safe, and then he has to he gets attacked from outside and has to defend it against the wasteland, basically. Which I think is like a premise they've tried with. Was it one of the No, not Rambo. Yeah, it was one of the Rambo films. Wasn't it like the last Rambo film? Like,
yeah,
I only
that
saw the
sounds-
trailer, but he has this house and he sits on the veranda and he has a shotgun. It's like the heavy implication is it's the old person rebelling against the world kind of thing, which I think will be an increasingly like popular genre of movies as the population generally ages and everyone realizes that young people suck. So like it could be entertaining.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It doesn't matter what he did in the past, right? He's making a comeback. He's doing films, so I reckon Mel Gibson should be Mad Max going forward. But then again, if he doesn't want to do it, doesn't want to do it. Right? So,
he's past it, right? That's why Tom Hardy signed on for 3 films.
Don't like Tom Hardy at all for some reason.
There's no way we get 3 more Mad Max films.
No,
I don't
zero.
think so.
Right, that's right. Yeah,
he's still
you're
in
right.
Venom, though,
Absolutely
isn't he, Tom Hardy? Like, he
Yeah.
signs on for these really. I mean, some of those make money, though, don't they? I guess so.
Yeah, that's the thing. 3rd Venom movie, someone's making money. He's
But
making
you know what? He has taken a step back, because you remember he used to be a really serious actor. He was very serious about his craft, and now because he's running out of money, he'll do any old shit. And he's doing.
This
Venom
is what
3.
happens to the greats. Like I feel like Johnny Depp did that, and Nick Cage, the extreme version.
I feel like Tom Hardy always strikes me as a dude that proved that he could act and is now in a phase of his life where he's like, I want to do fun things. Because it always looks like he has fun doing Venom. He's not just there for the bag. He's kind of like, I don't know. It feels like he maybe made enough money. He doesn't seem like a guy that's like, I want millions. He's like, I bought a house. I'm going to have fun now, which I can respect because fucking Fury's really good. And
I think halfway
in that.
through Michael Caine's career, that's what he did. He just did any old shit, Michael Caine, didn't he?
I'm a huge fan of his work in Legend that came out, I think, like 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
He's
Tom a good actor. He's a good actor, Tom Hardy. He's a very good actor.
Well, Nick Cage too. Like I feel like Nick Cage gets a lot of shit for taking every possible role, and people. Well, I mean, he is fucking broke.
Well, he did it on purpose. He had to.
Yeah, but also I feel like he's a dude that he loves acting. That's what he always struck me as. Like even if he's not the best, he just loves the fact that he can do it. So he just kind of takes whatever. And then there's movies like Mandy, which I thought he was fucking so good in. And there was that other one that was pretty much a Friday Night at Freddy's ripoff that was better than the FNAF movie. Yeah.
I forget what it's called though.
Oh, he does like he's a very particular person, but I quite enjoy Nick Cage.
Yeah, Nick Cage is fun. He does fun movies now.
What was that Friday Night at Freddy? Was it something at Willie's? Some like not Weekend at
Willie's Wonderland.
Willie's Wonderland. That's the one.
3 Thursdays.
That was a weird film. That's a really strange film.
I know they asked Michael Caine whether he saw Jaws. Was it Jaws: The Revenge? And he said
yes,
no.
It was.
And he said no, but I've seen my mum's house that the Jaws: Revenge paid for.
Yep.
That's what he said. So there you go. So that's why he did it. You know what I mean? So.
Did you guys
he was a pilot in that movie, and he was attacked by that shark while in a plane.
Oh,
was it a helicopter? No, it was a plane.
It was a helicopter. Excuse me.
Oh, it was a helicopter.
Right. I believe it
was a helicopter. Or was it plane?
No, it wasn't.
No, it was. It was a plane.
It was a plane.
It was a seaplane.
Yeah, it was a seaplane.
Yeah,
It was in the water. Yeah.
He said that shark's got bad breath. That's what he said in one scene. So that's ridiculous.
God, what an awful movie.
That shark was out for actual fucking revenge. Amazing movie.
Stupid movie. It swam all the way from Amity all the way to Jamaica to try to get Brody's wife. What is who wrote that?
Wait, it swam to Amity and killed the kid, or like the adult kid. And then swam to like whatever the Caribbean.
Yeah. Was it Jamaica? I can't remember where they were, but yeah, that's such a stupid script. Don't know who greenlit that, for God's sakes.
It's not even the same shark. It's the kid of the shark. Is that the shark is thinking to itself, "You killed my parents, and I'm out for revenge." It's a fucking shark. No.
Well,
see, movies have always
used its own anger against it, by the way, and tricked it to kill it.
Yeah,
Fucking
well,
love
I
that
mean,
movie. Maybe I'll watch that later.
there have been some really dumb movies that I've loved. You know, I mean, I've only watched that film once, The Revenge, and I only watched. Anybody see Jaws 3D?
Oh
Nope.
fuck yeah,
is
that's
just
Jaws
No.
3.
Jaws 3, yeah, Jaws 3D. Oh my god, that was awful as well.
Who's there's a major actor in that movie.
Yeah, the one that was in the space.
The one that was in
Dennis
space.
Quaid. Dennis Quaid.
Yes, it was Dennis Quaid.
Quaid.
Yeah.
Dennis Quaid was in it. Yeah. Wow.
That one takes place in SeaWorld. The shark invades SeaWorld.
He does.
What?
He does.
You guys
yeah.
haven't seen Jaws 3D?
Jaws
No.
3D, man.
I
you
thought I
have
had,
homework
but
for next
none
week,
of this
then.
is ringing any sort of bell at all. Maybe I've
It's
like blitzed
fucking
it from my mind.
amazing. That
Hmm.
the concept of Jaws: The Revenge is better than Jaws 3, but how bad Jaws 3 is better than how bad Jaws: The Revenge
Sure.
is. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta watch both.
Yeah. They should have stopped at one.
The three-dimensional effects are unparalleled in Jaws 3D, especially if you're watching it without the glasses on.
Do you need the classic like red and blue?
You would, yeah.
You
you'd
do,
have to
yeah,
get
you
a copy
do.
of
Yeah,
it with
yeah.
the red
Fuck
and
yeah.
green. Yeah.
And in those days, they did that thing where they shoved things in the lens, so it was like coming towards you, like the shark would come towards you, and it like
Yeah,
just
it's
your nose and stuff.
God. So I don't want to spoil it for you, but I'm going to. They kill the shark because he consumes a scuba diver, and the scuba diver it was trying to kill it, like he was trying to blow it up, and he died before, but he's like still hanging out in his mouth, and then he goes into this underground, I don't know, like science layer thing, whatever, and he's coming towards the camera. And it's the best thing you will ever see. You could go on YouTube and just take a look. Actually, I can pull up an image. But what they do is while the shark is just kind of chilling, he really is. He's just kind of hanging out in there. He's not moving because, mechanical sharks can't do anything.
Yeah.
And they see the dead guy with the grenade or whatever it was, and they kill him that way. It's really something. I got to show you this image though. Jaws 3D.
Sidetrack real quick. I just realized, why are you dressed like Neo today, Cynic?
Just like Neo. I'm just in a fucking t-shirt and a jacket I wear all the time.
you don't usually wear a jacket on stream. That's why I was like, wait a second.
I've worn a jacket.
Holy shit.
I've worn this jacket like 4 or 5 times on stream.
I have never
And I
noticed
just
the
have a
shine
t-shirt
before.
to make you feel weird.
To be fair, it's been several months. We've all forgotten what you look like. So
True. Yeah.
Well, this is it.
All
Holy
right.
fuck.
Okay.
All right.
Let's have a look.
Mm-hmm.
We're waiting with bated breath.
this had better be good.
Oh, fuck.
Where's the?
What?
That's the image.
Is that in the film?
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's
What is
bad.
he swimming over?
So there's this so that they can have some terrifying moments, right? Like at SeaWorld, they have installed this underground thing so that visitors can go through and kind of walk through the water and really see all the creatures. So that way this giant shark can terrorize a bunch of people that is intelligently trapped down there.
This looks
So
like
it's-
a
it's-
Fallout mod.
It's like Deep Blue Sea, but worse.
Yeah.
No, Deep Blue Sea is like this, but better.
Okay.
It's not a ringing endorsement.
Who thought that was good? The shark
Deep
doesn't
Blue
look
Sea
like,
is amazing.
it's not occupying the same plane of existence as the movie
No.
that it's in. It just
No.
it exists outside of time and space.
Yeah. It's not a very good film. I actually saw it when it was re-released in the cinema. It was awful. I wouldn't watch that film again.
Real question. Do you think we're back to the era of people not giving a fuck about sequels? Do you think we're
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
I hope
It
so.
kind of feels like because that was the thing in like the 80s, 90s, right? I'm a young guy, so I don't really know for sure, but I remember sequels always not being seen fondly. It was always, everyone kind of agreed like, oh, it's like the thing I liked but worse. And then somehow that changed. in like the early
Yeah,
2000s.
it felt like there was a streak where it was okay if it was going to be a trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, it's a complete story. Like that's cool. Yeah.
Are there any examples of like sequels in recent years that have done well financially?
Dune Part 2.
Dune. Yeah, Dune.
Is that the only one though?
But that's also announced as a trilogy, so
Marvel
does it count?
movies count?
Yeah, I would guess Marvel movies probably technically count. Yeah.
Each Captain America movie made more than the last.
Oh no! So when I say recent years, I'm saying like last 5 years. Let's say.
There haven't been any, have they?
Spider-Man: No Way Home came out in 21.
Yeah, that was good.
It made like $2 billion.
Thor: Love and Thunder technically made
Top
money.
Gun. Oh,
Top Gun.
Called it in chat.
Yeah.
Top Gun.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if maybe just like John Wick sequels. There we go. Someone said that one up there.
People like John Wick 4 for some inexplicable reason, so like that one did pretty well.
It's just silly fun. That's
it's
why.
It's fucking good.
No, it's not.
I'll watch him fall down those stairs on repeat all day.
It is a lot of fun, but I remember seeing it 3 times, and on the third looking at it, I just got bored with the action. So, unlike Indiana Jones, I can watch that all day. Do you know what I mean? I can watch Raiders over and over again, and I wouldn't get tired of it. But with John, I think it's John Wick 4 has too much. It's just too much.
Yeah, it stretches out the good scenes. Yeah.
The aesthetics, though, I'll literally watch that movie because it's the closest thing I've ever seen to a live action anime that nails the aesthetic.
Yeah,
that's good.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But I think Little Platoon said it. Why don't they just shoot him in the head? Why? It's got that bulletproof. It's just shoot him in the head, man.
I was saying that about
like his face.
What about Batman and like RoboCop? I was always saying that. I was like, shoot him in the fucking mouth. Why? Just like...
Wait, is it? I'm not American, so I don't know these things. I guess there's only one American on this panel. What the fuck? Is it easy to shoot someone in the mouth?
No, but like, it's going to be difficult, but it's a movie, and fucking aim for something other than the shit that it bounces off of.
You could aim in that general area, if anything, you know.
It's such a small target, though.
It's your only hope.
I guess.
You're fucking shooting him in the arm, dude, and it bounces off. Like, you're more likely to die from your own fucking bullet than kill him.
Hear me out, though.
Shoot him in the legs. His legs aren't covered in Beskar. Like, shoot him in the leg. That's easier. You can do that. Shoot him in the head. Shoot him in the arms. It's only his little jacket that's bulletproof, and also apparently completely resistant to the laws of motion because he can get hit by trucks and survive. But like, there are plenty of other places you can hit the guy. They just don't do it. It's like they deliberately shoot at the armor, which is what was the Wakanda Forever. Yeah, that one. The Mer people, the Aztecs, the underwater Aztecs. That's a thing. They wear this tiny little, like tiny piece of armor, and they're otherwise not wearing anything. And that reliably everyone shoots at the one tiny bit of their body that's actually got armor on it. Stop it. No, anywhere else would be fine.
That movie's bad, but I have a defense, okay? And I feel like Cynic will like it because I'm thinking in your area. If I saw this dude that I knew to just kick the shit out of everyone that fucks around, walking out of the dark in a full like leather black suit, looking like a bat with a cape, I don't know if I could aim a gun. That would be terrifying.
Well, they all try.
They try, but like, are you really trying?
If he's in the darkness, dude, the one fucking thing you can probably see is the white of his fucking mouth. Like,
this is why Batman should be a black guy. Just saying.
Yeah, there is a black Batman in the comics now. Well, obviously, because, it's 2024. So.
I can cosplay Batman now. That's what you're telling me. Fuck yeah, dude.
You could always be Batman. That was the secret all along. Anyone can be Batman.
That was the nicest thing you've ever said on the internet. You could all be Batman. The Batman's in you guys. Don't worry.
Would it make a difference?
We're all Batman. You just need a really bad you need something horrific to fucking happen to you and a lot of motivation,
Would it make a difference if you shot RoboCop in the face, though?
Well, I guess they said it's like a skin mask. It's literally a mask.
Also, I didn't realize that, when they took RoboCop's helmet off, do you remember? He goes, "Help me, Lewis," and he takes the things out. When he took the helmet off, the bit at the bottom of his chin disappears.
Yeah, the little.
Anyone knows that? All that thing disappears, doesn't it? What happened?
The whole thing, because it's like a whole neck piece.
Yeah,
it covers his entire neck, and then when he takes the helmet off, it's instantly
gone.
Didn't even exist.
Then
it's not only off; it does not exist anymore.
Yeah, weird. Yeah, so I didn't notice that until I watched the documentary. Oh, there you go.
Well, we were talking about flaws of older movies. That's how boring new movies are.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the question was, are there any good sequels of the last few years? And we've gone back to RoboCop, so I think the answer is probably no.
No.
But
I'm also. Is it also like is star power pool an issue as well? Because I don't.
No, that doesn't work.
I don't know
anymore.
any of these people that are apparently on all the wanted lists and all this stuff. I think even like Tom Cruise, he couldn't really sell Mission Impossible 7.
well, I think,
yeah.
Vex, we all have our suspicions as to which actors are on wanted lists. Okay, like I think
Poor choice of words.
Yeah, but that's another film, Mission Impossible. That was sequel upon sequel, and they were doing really well. So that's answers.
well, up until Dead
last
Reckoning.
one, yeah.
But then it wasn't a very good movie. I think the same rule applies. It's like a really boring, simple answer, but it is just like, is it a good film? Yes. Okay, then people are quite into it. If it's not, then no, they're not. June Part 2, I think, it has its issues, but it's technically a really well put together movie. It develops on the first one. It looks great. It's kind of event cinema. And it's not incompetently done either. And lo and behold, people like it and they go and see it. And other things like you get Mission Impossible Fallout, which is a really good movie, which is also a sequel, does really well. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, which is also a sequel, which is not a good movie, does not do very well. It's just, is the sequel a good one or not? That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't mind it. I thought it was entertaining. I just didn't think it was as good as Fallout. That's all. But
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, and the budget was overinflated too because of COVID.
Yeah.
And yeah, the fact of the matter is, if you make a better movie, it's just going to hold better weekend over weekend. The things with bad movies is they'll, I mean, you see the pattern. They will block the reviews until the embargo won't be lifted until like 24 hours before the movie comes out, and the hope is that the maths. This movie will open to such a massive number because we'll get as many people in before everyone realizes it's shit. And then like even if it drops 60-70%, it opened to such a huge number that it's going to end up with a profit. If you just make a good movie, like look at Guardians 3, no matter how you feel about it, general audiences really did enjoy it. So even though it opened to lower than expected expectations, it legged out to pretty good numbers because it was just a decent movie. So it didn't drop off the face of the planet the next weekend.
Oh, I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed that one as well. So even but you were talking about trashy movies that you liked. Anybody remember Taken? That was a trashy movie.
Hell yeah.
And I loved that film.
It was fun though. Yeah.
Wait, did anyone watch The Beekeeper?
Yes,
Yes.
I love that one too. That was lovely.
That was a lot of fun. I liked
that
that
movie's
movie.
fun as fuck. Yeah.
It's very fun. It took on everybody in that place at the ending, didn't it? Everyone, and you beat the crap out of them all.
I want to see it. I'm like, yeah, there's no fucking way that Jason Statham could take out 30 dudes and burn down a whole building, but I want him to.
As a beekeeper, nonetheless.
Yeah,
and he just might.
Yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun. It's a shame.
Taken was good fun, but the first John Wick was good fun in the same way because it was just Taken, except that instead of a missing daughter, it was a dead dog.
Yeah,
It's kind of the same, and then they exploded it into this weird expanded universe with cartels and shit, and then it starts falling apart. But the original Taken was fun. I like dumb movies. Dumb movies are some of the most enjoyable things to have come out recently. I'll take Mountain Web over any like just bland, boring, middle of the road film. I put what was it? The Walking Dead, Those Who Live, Those Who Survive, whatever the new Walking Dead thing is with Rick and Michonne, which came on Sky. For some reason, someone thought that was worth spending about $85 million on.
Wow.
It's appalling. It's so bad, but in quite funny ways. So I quite enjoyed it.
I don't know.
Rebel Moon is just bad. I just saw that in chat.
No,
and that is not fun bad. It's just bad.
Yeah, like there's Madam Web, so bad it's good, and then there's like Rebel Moon, and I don't even know where to place something like Godzilla X Kong because that was just if you follow the argument, it was supposed to be bad, so it's great. I'm like, no,
dinosaur shit category. There you go.
I feel like that movie falls into so bad it's good. As soon as he picks up that little ape and starts beating the other dudes with them,
that is hilarious. Yes.
Yeah, it saves the entire movie for me.
I liked it when he gave him a superplex off
Oh.
of the fucking top rope. That was fucking badass.
Dude, that's
I
fucking
couldn't
sweet.
believe he fucking kicked out at 2. Unbelievable.
No, I had
Didn't
fun
get
with
the
that
freak
movie,
out.
and yeah, it's sort of similar to Madam Web. There you go, Monsterverse fans. Your favorite movie is basically on the same caliber as Madam Web. It was great fun to laugh at, but if you sincerely like it, then I question your intelligence. But there's plenty of things like that. Right? Actually, Rebel Moon Part 2, I think, pretty much fits that category. Part 1 is just such a drab slog, but Part 2 is funny. It's like coal-powered spaceships, random giant heads, fucking Cora, the hero of the piece, up until the last 20 minutes has just killed an innocent child and some doctors, and that's it. Like, it's just funny all the way through.
So which one's worse, Madam Web or Morpheus?
Morbius.
Not Morbius. Which one? Which one? Which one's worse?
Morbius.
Madam Web.
Madam Web's way more fun to watch.
I was actually going to
Jared Leto fucks me up. I don't know what it is. Watching him on screen just makes me so uncomfortable.
It's the cult personality. It still comes through, even when he's acting.
It's like he's
on wanted list.
He's one of those actors that feels like you're watching someone who's always aware of the camera. It feels really weird and intrusive.
That he's just always putting on a performance.
Yeah, it's not like he's acting. It's like he's acting for the camera.
Right, he
doesn't lose himself in anything. It's always so aware. I don't know.
He's not natural.
I don't like that dude.
Can I make a hot take? I actually like him as an actor.
Vex, I respected you.
My hot take
in the past.
He absolutely did not deserve the Oscar he won. That was such a basic performance. Like, I didn't feel anything from his performance. Matthew McConaughey's performance was great in that movie.
What did he win an Oscar for?
Yeah,
Dallas Buyers Club, I think.
Yeah, Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Was he dressed like a woman? Was it that guy?
No, he was a gay dude dying of AIDS.
That was it.
I think he was like a drag queen or something.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
He
It's
could
just
have played any person could have been in that role and won the Oscar. That's just cheating.
Holy fuck! This is a good one. I was gonna say, like, I heard he's made a lot of fucking people uncomfortable over the years.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that's true. I believe that he's batshit crazy and everything, but when I've seen him in a role, even when it's been a bad movie, I've usually enjoyed him in the role. That's all.
I liked him in American Psycho because he played the smug douchebag he kinda is, and like got what he deserved, you know? Like that was the fun of it, is that
Do you like Huey Lewis, Paul?
Yeah, like he's in an iconic scene. Hey, Paul,
Yeah.
He's also great in Fight Club, where he's in the back and doesn't talk
and gets his face destroyed.
Yeah,
I just wanted to destroy something beautiful. Isn't that a line? And it's exactly related to him. I want to run through these real quick because they've popped up and been waiting. M8566 for $5. Thank you. Somehow BSUP returned. Yes, certainly has. And M8566 again for another 5. Platoon on Sitch and Adam when?
What? I like Sitch and Adam, but like if they ever have space, I'll always say yes. I think I've been on once, unexpectedly, because it was an organized chaos. Bob Chaos, as he now goes by, because he's just a meme. Was on with, and like he left, and then I was in the chat, so they brought me on, and I was already quite drunk by that point, and my microphone wasn't plugged in, as it turned out, so they might not have me back, but you know, they're great.
And this one's for you too.
What a fucking insult! Am I Milo Yiannopoulos? No,
I kind of get it now with the avatar. Yeah.
How does Milo Yiannopoulos have an avatar?
Can you just get the avatar to just do this for me really quick? I just want to see something.
See how far.
No, he's got to become straight now. That's the deal if he's Milo. So.
Oh, that's the end result of the Milo
that's
journey.
The end result, yeah. Okay. Sorry. Quick question, because if we're talking, because I see the latest summer of flops. Okay, is in the title. I looked at the box office, or not. Sorry, not the release schedule, and I'm not seeing anything that's coming out in theaters aside from Deadpool and Wolverine that would actually make a significant profit.
That
Yeah,
was my
no.
question, because there was a quote from some Sony executive saying that he anticipates things will be fine for the box office because people will just get back into the habit of going to the theaters, and that means all the subsequent releases will do better than the last one. But I'm not like, nothing off the top of my head is standing out as a film I really, really, really want to go and see at
Yeah.
all. I don't know what run of films he's predicting that will have this effect. And I don't buy the falling out of the habit of going to theaters thing, because again, it didn't affect Barbie, and it didn't affect Oppenheimer, and it didn't affect Dune. It's opium, basically.
I'm just Despicable Me 4. I think that will do fine. I'm gonna go see that because I like the Despicable
Yeah, I
Me
like
movies.
it as well.
So I think that will make movie money. But like, was it Kevin Costner's Horizon? That's niche, so I don't think that's going to make a significant profit. And there's both parts are coming out this summer. Alien Romulus. I think a lot of people don't really have faith in the Alien franchise anymore. Borderlands looks like shit. Craven got pushed back. The Crow. I saw the trailer again on IMAX, and it still doesn't look very good.
That's a lot of these movies that you're rattling off too. I think part of the problem is these are all movies that I don't think these would really perform any differently in any other year. Like The Crow is a niche movie unless they market it a very particular way and you get a sense of excitement that this is going to be, like I was saying, Halloween, how like the 2018 relaunch was way bigger than that movie franchise had ever seen before. You're not getting a sense of that from The Crow. This is kind of also like the Fury Road thing. Why would Furiosa make more than Fury Road? It won't. And like the same with The Crow, like those have never been big movies. Most of them have been fucking direct to video. This is not going to make money no matter what.
What about Inside Out? Actually, I forgot that's coming out, and A Quiet Place Day
One. Yeah, Inside Out. Well, Pixar's had a really tough time, so we'll see what's going to happen with that.
It's probably not going to make money, is it? Inside Out.
I don't know. Inside Out, the original made.
It was very successful. Yeah,
it was very successful. So that it's weird to say that that's a question mark, but it is more of a question mark than a guarantee, I think.
I'm just not. Sorry,
isn't it dealing with her being a teenager now?
Yes.
And so there's a lot of things they can do with that.
New
if you
emotion.
know what I mean. If you know what I mean. So
has anyone looked at the budget?
What's the budget for it?
175 million.
That's actually pretty standard for an animated movie.
Is it?
Yeah.
I guess a Pixar animated movie.
Yeah, because the fucking Disney, so it's like an inflated budget anyway, and then CGI costs a lot of money.
Can I put on my tinfoil hat for 1 second?
Yeah, sure.
Like, what are the odds we find out in like 5 years that all of these budgets at Disney are so high because somehow someone very high up is getting like a fat kickback? Like they own some company that's getting like
but we know this. You don't have to go into the future. We know this is what's happening. Yeah. So
if it's weird that it's not more common knowledge, though, I guess, because it feels like it's obvious. Like someone up and owns like a lighting company and like where they fucking do all the filming for like the volume or something. Like someone somewhere is making way too much money. It doesn't even make any sense.
Finds an Iger's car wash in the middle of Arizona or something. It's just like all the money's going through that.
Yeah. It's pretty obvious because like exec producers, sometimes you've got 10 exec producers on there and they're getting a huge cut as well. So it's just, I don't know. I don't understand. Well, I do. I
thought that was more for actors. I always thought the new, like, because you see a lot of actors grabbing executive producer roles or producer roles now. And I thought that was because streaming has taken away so much money. So like the bigger names are doing that to ensure they get paid more.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Inside Out, the original, made $858 million. Ooh, 9 years ago.
That's a lot of money.
So are we in Fury Road territory where it was like really well reviewed, well respected movie, and it came out
Pixar's
9 years ago? So why
faith,
would the next one make? What's that?
Like Pixar hasn't maintained faith since then, so a lot of audiences have turned away from because they released a whole bunch of stuff on Disney Plus during the pandemic, right? And none of it did well. I think the last major movie they did was Lightyear.
Yeah, but the thing
Pixar?
is though,
no, they released another one last year. It originally was in the Backbase. You did this video for me. We talked about it a little bit about it was a bomb, but then it lagged out and kind of broke even. Their movie last year. And
It
there you
wasn't-
go. Like that's how forgettable it was. But I guess it was kind of, it ended up being like a sleeper.
Elemental.
Yes.
Elemental.
It at least broke even.
But the thing is, though, the creative people at
not
Pixar,
great.
they've all been fired,
Mhm.
right? And so you got this new bunch coming in, and they're coming up with terrible ideas. I mean, what's that one? The Soul, was it Soul? That one where the guy dies and he goes to something like heaven, and he has to come back. And
Yeah.
was that? Is that called Soul? That was that in theory the idea sounds solid, but the way they executed it was really bad. And I feel that if the original crew of a Pixar was there and they were dealing with that story, it would have been 10 times better, if you know what I mean. That the drop in quality, you can see it in the Pixar stuff, especially when Disney took over.
I was gonna
Didn't
say,
they recently lay off like 14% of their workforce as well, which is sort of like suggests that they are aware that the company is not profitable anymore.
Didn't Elemental also have like a bit of an online stir because like one of the elements was trans or something?
I think they were non-binary or something.
Yeah, there we go. Same shit. But yeah, I'm just wasn't that an issue that probably would have affected it? Because parents especially are really aware of this shit. That's why.
Yeah, they are now. Definitely are now.
Yeah, that If movie that just dropped.
Oh, I want to
John
see that
Krasinski's
actually.
movie.
Yeah.
It took number 2 from Furiosa this week in like
Holy
projected
shit.
budgets. Yeah, so it's number 1 is Garfield, number 2 is If, and then Furiosa already dropped to 3.
Wow.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that it feels like a throwback to like 90s children's films. Like it will, and it's very
it's like
emotional too.
parent aimed, but like kids movie kind of vibe, which hasn't been
Yeah.
done in a little while.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd like to go see that.
Yeah, I'll probably.
Man, when Pixar bought, or when Disney bought Pixar, I speculated they hate this movie studio for some reason because it like wasn't theirs. It seemed like they just utilized something that was it was just constantly producing golden eggs, and they used it to try and hunker down Disney Plus, and it watered down the product there by releasing movies on the streaming platform instead of like guaranteed $1 billion movies in the box office. And then the movie that does actually get released is Elemental, which is like we even struggle to fucking remember what it was. And that gets actually put in theaters. It's really weird how Disney's handled Pixar. They don't, it's like they don't covet it like they did. As much as they fucked up Marvel and Star Wars, it seems like they've, that they wish they hadn't. But with Pixar, it doesn't feel that way. It's like they purposely run it into the ground. It's such a weird position with them.
Who's the guy that he was like one of the founders of Pixar that they basically ran out of the studio? Yeah, and now he's with Apple.
Yeah.
So I'm because
didn't Apple originally own Pixar? Didn't they?
They did. Yeah.
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 Because he did a movie called Luck on Apple, which is okay. It has its lulls, but overall it's a pretty decent film. But since he left, you can notice there's a pretty steep decline in the quality of Pixar films.
So it's a shame, really, because Pixar, I loved most of their films when they were when they weren't under Disney, put it that way. But yeah, it's a shame. It really is a shame. Disney's literally gone and destroyed things. They haven't supported things. They've literally gone and destroyed it. Destroyed Star Wars, destroyed Marvel, destroyed Pixar. What else are they going to destroy? Do you know what I mean? It's sad. It's very sad.
It's what always happens. Like it's a mega corporation that, I mean, these are already billion-dollar franchises, but you just mega corporate ties the fucking IP, and that's what happens. It becomes this watered down product that has no life and no personality, and you just sell it based on the flash, and that's what a lightsaber is. That's why now you have the lightsaber whip selling.
Oh, and another one. There's another new one. As she said in an interview, there is another new lightsaber design that they told her wouldn't work, and she insisted they made it. She won't tell us what it is, but it's a new lightsaber that is not the whip. Yeah.
So have you guys heard that in the 3rd episode of Acolyte, they're going to destroy Star Wars even more?
I heard that from there's Alan from Film Threat, who's seen the first 4 episodes. Apparently, the first 2 are okay. Well, the first 2 are okay by current Disney Star Wars standards, which is to say they're fucking awful, but some people might like them. Episode 3, I think he said, is the one that will probably start ruining it for any remaining pre-Disney Star Wars fans. And episode 4, I think they start throwing pronouns around, which is always fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be really, really, really great fun to review on Mr. Brown Alliance on Wednesdays. Can't wait.
I'm only going to watch one episode. That's it for me. Just one episode. That's enough.
They're really short, though. The first 2 are dropping at the same time, and I think the average episode length overall is only half an hour. And it still costs something like $170 million to make. So
holy shit!
It just makes me sad that
how many episodes is it?
How many times has people?
8 episodes, I think.
Oh.
How many?
8 episodes, I think.
8,
So it's basically like a 4-hour movie. For that
Eight's the
budget.
magic number these days. TV shows always go to 8 for some reason.
Oh my god, the chat's just lighting up with predictions. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Here we go. All right.
You know, like a good amount about Star Wars, right?
I mean, there will be people in chat who'll put me to shame, but I know a bit.
Okay. If anyone knows how lightsabers actually work, can you tell me? Because like my brain tried to figure out the physics of how a lightsaber would. How does it stop? How does it know when to stop? Is there like are they using the Force to like cap these things off?
Right.
But like bringing in a whip, just like fucks my brain even harder. Because I'm like, okay, are these just magic?
So they used to be a lightsaber whip. I can't remember. Was it the Night Sisters who used to use it in the old expanded universe? And it sort of devolved. Well, it's devolved now. It evolved over time to like there were some bullshit mechanics, like sci-fi magic that goes into it. Like there were kyber crystal fragments along the entire length of the whip, which is bound by whatever molecular mechanics make Star Wars work, and that sort of gives it effectively it's a beam of plasma around a solid object. But the lightsaber whip they're using in the Acolyte isn't that. It's just a bendy lightsaber, which doesn't work because light, you need some pretty significant gravitational force to bend light. That you need Lizzo to do that, and unless you've got like condensed hyperdense Lizzos like constructed along the length of the whip, it's not going to bend the light. It's not going to happen.
That would kill you though, wouldn't it? If it hits you, you'd be dead. Right?
Yeah. How do you even train with that to make sure that you don't cut yourself in half?
Very carefully, I think, is the answer to that. My mind goes back to it's always like the Indiana Jones thing when he's young and he uses the whip for the first time and catches himself in the face. But if it was in Star Wars, he'd be dead because his head would be gone.
His head would go off. Only his mouth would be left, I guess. Yeah, just weird. I find that weird having a whip late. I'm not even gonna.
It looks dumb.
Why are you making me watch that show? For God's sake!
I'm not. Brown. Brown's the slave driver with the lightsaber whip in this situation. It looks. I'm sure it's just there to sell toys, and it's probably true with the other one as well. Yes. But I don't think it will sell any because I don't know how many people are even going to be watching this show. Especially if it does get as bad as people say it's going to do. It's supposed to be sort of the hook is a murder mystery. I think for the first sort of 2 episodes at least. Which is variously people have said, because some people have seen the first 4 episodes, even the people who are technically on side with Disney and who are given the gift packages and are allowed to watch these episodes before they come out, even they've been a little bit lukewarm. Grace Randolph loves it, obviously, but she's brain dead, so if she likes it, it's probably going to be shit. Yeah, Mario is popular in Asia because of fairies or whatever the fuck she said. Like, but there are other people who've said like, I kind of wanted to like it, but in the realm of Disney Star Wars, it's closer to the Book of Boba Fett than it is to Andor. And the Book of Boba Fett, as anyone who watched it knows, is just a joke production. So I really hope it's that for comedic value. I can't see anything good coming of it though.
Yeah, sorry.
Hopefully, a good video is going to come of it.
I'm weirdly more excited for TV shows for like the next 5 months than I am any movies.
Agreed.
It's weird. Like House of the Dragon coming back. I'm pretty stoked for The Boys, even though apparently they're not ending it now.
Arcane season 2, end of the year.
Yeah, Arcane season 2.
The Bear is out the end of this month. Bear season 3 and Presumed Innocent on Apple is out this month. On top of that,
what really?
Yeah,
it drops June 12th. It comes out.
Oh, all right, okay.
Rings of Power season 2. Come on,
fuck yeah, baby!
Fuck yeah, baby!
I'm ready.
No, thank you.
Wait, is anyone? Hold. Can we make predictions on something very, very far away that doesn't even have a trailer?
Sure.
Gladiator 2. Do you think it Furiosas or do you think it Dunes?
Oh, it's gonna flop. Look at the budget already.
What is
it's
it?
Insanely high, right?
It's like over $350 million.
What?
Yeah, it's a guaranteed flop at this point.
Guys, why do they?
Who's going to be watching it though? Do you know what I mean?
Crazy.
It's like the first one was good, But you know, it's not a film to make a sequel to. Why would you do it? Have they
That's
run
what
out
I'm
of
wondering.
ideas?
Over 20 years later, too. Why would you
Yeah,
bother?
exactly. Why would you? Makes no sense.
It's like making a sequel to Shawshank Redemption. You'd be like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah, exactly.
Let's catch up with Red.
Yeah.
See if they finish that boat.
It's a mad decision. Ridley Scott just needs to stop making movies, I think.
Has
He is doing Gladiator 2, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he's producing it, isn't it? Who is he directing?
No, I think he's
as well?
directing it.
Oh,
I think he's doing it.
There was one
Napoleon
movie that
and
he
that are his
recently
big
did.
things.
Yeah.
Budget between 250 and 310.
Oh,
Wow.
That's and before marketing and everything else. That's just it's not going to make that back.
But hold on, it's the boy that was in the first film. He's going to be the gladiator. I thought he was part of the royalty.
Who's Denzel playing?
I don't know.
I think he's the bad guy.
Isn't Barry Keoghan playing the main?
Damn.
No, it's not him. It's a different guy that looks ugly.
Oh,
Pedro
You think Barry
Pascal.
Keoghan's ugly?
He looks weird. Yeah.
Who's what's her name? The showrunner for the Acolyte.
Leslie Headland.
Leslie held.
Yeah.
Square head. Headland, yeah.
I made an observation the other day that she looks like Pedro Pascal with a wig on.
I see it.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't know. I'll find a picture and pull it up.
I always thought her hair just looked like it'd been rendered for the PlayStation 1 or something. It's like it's got those weird angles that just don't quite add up. You had the usual Star Wars pre-press coverage that they're covering all the bases. It's Kathleen Kennedy saying that the fan base is too male, and complaining about the audience being mean to women. And apparently, well, she says that Leslie Headland has apparently struggled with the audience being mean to women. I thought it was famously that Leslie Headland doesn't notice when people are mean to women. I thought that was established. And so
that's
old
why
boss.
she did the boss she did. Yeah.
They were saying that she's the fall guy now. They've made her do that thing, the interview, and so if it fails, they're not going to blame Kathleen Kennedy. They're going to blame her. So
they never will blame Kathleen Kennedy. She knows too much. I don't know what she knows, but it is too much.
Yeah.
Well, she used to suck everyone off, right? Before she got promoted. She was the quote unquote coffee girl.
There's no way you get to her position with good head. She knows where the bodies are for sure.
The throat explains it, though.
It's the neck. It all comes down to the neck. Palpatine's
right.
neck.
You don't get a throat like that.
You're telling me that there's someone out there that gives such good head that some guy was like, yeah, here, have Star Wars.
Yes.
Have it all.
It was
That's crazy. You know what? If that's true, good on her, dude. Like, that's fucking crazy skills.
Did she not? Who she get married to? She got married to the guy who produced the Bourne films, didn't he? I can't remember the guy's name. But she got married to him, and she was with Spielberg and Lucas originally, wasn't she? Yes, she did. She was.
Yeah, she was. She was the coffee girl or whatever for Spielberg. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly.
Exec producer, she was. She's
okay,
all the Indiana Jones movies. She was exec producers.
Pedro Pascal.
And
Pedro Pascal. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It would be nicer.
Okay, just keep that in your head.
Jesus.
Frank Marshall. There we go. Frank Marshall.
Frank
you
Marshall,
tell me those two people don't look alike?
I feel like she looks like Patton Oswalt.
I can see
that's
that.
closer, actually, yeah.
That is a square head, isn't it? That head is
It's
square, man.
Very square head.
She kind of looks like what happens when you don't put a tampon in right. Like you see the instructional videos, and it's like when it gets it hits a hard place and it just doesn't go up. That's kind of what her head shape reminds me.
Can't take you anywhere, can we, Vex? Jeez.
No, you can't.
Do you ever just wonder what it's like to be ugly like that?
I do.
Yes. The views expressed on this panel.
No, I'm sure she's a great person. I mean, you'd hope because damn, you're not getting any fucking points for the looks, but you kind of feel bad sometimes. Man, imagine you can't even put on a nice outfit and someone's like, you look good today. It's just all the time you look like that.
She got women for Weinstein, so I don't feel bad for her at all.
Yeah, she did, didn't she?
She's another one who's got all the way up to that quite lofty position inexplicably, because like I don't know if she has any established record as writing anything, and she's writing and showrunning, I think, for the
No, she
the
wrote
Acolyte.
what's that comedy thing she
There was
did?
one thing she did, and I can't remember what it was called.
I can't remember either.
But apparently, she went and
she
she just lied about what she knew. Like when she was asked like what her record was, like when she was interviewing for Star Wars, basically, and she just said that she knew everything and she didn't. But they gave her the job anyway because quality control doesn't exist.
Because she's a whammon.
Not
I
with
guess
Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, it's all bad. It's all bad.
And
I just
there's
hope
theoretically interesting ideas there because like apparently she's drawing on like she has a really bad relationship with her sister or something.
Yeah.
So she's drawing on this for character inspiration, which I'm actually all in favor of. They always say write what you know, and family drama has always been sort of one of the linchpins that makes Star Wars work. George Lucas describes it as a family soap opera. So as an inspiration, that's not a bad idea. It's just what you do with that that's the problem. And apparently, she did take the original draft to Kathleen Kennedy, and Kathleen said, that's okay, but now make it more like you, make it more of your story. From which apparently she's taken the interpretation she did from that is pronouns and weird alien lesbians. So
she literally did the South Park meme. That's what you're saying?
I think so. Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Actually crazy.
Oh my god, what's happening?
Mega Spidey Man for $5 fake bucks to all. Thoughts on Raising Arizona and the Russell Crowe Robin Hood? Looking forward to your next Rings of Power review, Platoon.
Raising Arizona is a great film. I loved it. I laughed
movie.
all the way through it. Russell Crowe's Robin Hood was absolute bollocks. There you go. That's my review. Total shit.
Yeah, I liked Raising Arizona. Didn't see the Russell Crowe Robin Hood. Was not.
It's actually good. It's. I would recommend it. It's a solid film.
Disagreement. Yeah. Fight.
Fight.
No. Before you take me down, okay. First of all, I am a minority, and B, I saw this when I was like 14. So
Mega Geek is also a minority. In fact, Cynic and I we've been great replacement theoried over here. We're like the minority of the majority.
I saw it when it came out and I liked it, so it probably doesn't hold up anymore. So I'm going off the whims of a young girl watching.
He was quite beefy in that film, wasn't he? As I recall,
he was.
And it's like, you live in the forest and they don't have any money. They steal from the rich to give to the poor. Yet he looked like he ate 10 donuts or 10 burgers and stuff like that as Robin Hood. It just didn't make any sense to me, none of it. And it was very slow as well. I don't know. Well, you probably don't think it was slow, but I just thought it was slow and boring. That's what I thought. I even think the Kevin Costner version is better than this, and that was silly, but it was very.
When
enjoyable.
I was a little kid, my parents rented Kevin Costner Robin Hood and Terminator 2, and I could not wait until Robin Hood was over. I thought that movie dragged. And I thought Terminator 2 was like the best thing I'd ever seen.
Was that VHS? Was it? VHS?
Yeah. So it does not hold a special place in my memory. I can tell you, it's just
I liked it.
It's Terminator 2.
All right, Terminator 2 was great.
My question though is, will you, Platoon, be finishing Rings of Power season 1 review before diving into season 2?
And that is the plan. That is the promise that I made. I'm having severe problems with time at the moment, so I need to rejig a lot of stuff. But that is the ambition. Yes, I will be finishing it. It's November, the end of November. No, end of September or end of November. It comes out.
End of August.
Okay, neither of the two that I just said it was. Even
August
sooner.
29th.
August 29th.
That's good. That's still, what, 2 months away? And I think I have, is it 8? How many episodes? Is it 8 episodes or 10?
I'm confused, right?
I think it's 8.
Little Platoon, right? When you do your reviews, you do something like 3 hours or some nonsense like that? Was it 2 hours or
It'll
review?
depend
How
on
long's
what
your
the
review?
thing is. It depends on the thing. So for the first, I've done 2 Rings of Power videos, and it's been so long I actually don't remember exactly. I think they both cover 1 episode each, I think. And I think they average at about 2 hours 15 minutes. So if there's 6 episodes I haven't done yet, and if it stays at that length, it's going to be oh god. Somehow it will be done. It's fine.
But a Cynic's one isn't that long. Your review.
I don't make. We make totally different videos.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I would think that if you made something that long, people would tune out. They wouldn't watch watch, but then lots of people are watching it, right?
They tend to be the better performing ones these days because it's all
Yeah.
like to do with the algorithm. Now, if I now go back and do a video under an hour long, it will not perform as well just because that like the average watch duration goes down and YouTube thinks it's not performing as well. So it generally won't recommend it. There are exceptions to that rule, but my biggest words, God, I'm so tired. My best performing videos tend to be the longer ones because people will come back and watch it in installments and things like that. So, but I don't look at it in those terms. I've always just done things as long as I want them to be, and I like things to be long. So I just make it long.
Someone clip it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. Algorithm. That's what
Yeah,
it's
it is
about.
annoying.
I do
You
know
get,
someone that
like-
falls asleep to your videos, Platoon, and he'll watch them about a dozen times because of that. So there you go.
There you go. See, it all counts as new views. I know lots of people's wives who like it when their husbands put my videos on in bed. It's great stuff.
It's like a weird way of like cucking them. That's like
Basically,
weird
yes.
Thing,
I'm unstoppable. Marriage breaker.
Oh dear.
Is it worth the audible girth? Let's see. Sean Conway for $20. As an American, I thought it was hilarious that Bagface asked the only American on the panel about the difficulty of shooting someone in the face. And I gave him a real answer. Of course it would be hard. But like, that's what you should probably shoot for. Let's see.
But-
Aurora uplinks for sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, it's he's the only American on the panel.
I am. I'm also the only straight white guy on this fucking panel.
Let's go.
I am
Peace
the
up,
fucking
woke.
minority. Yeah. I am the minority here.
BSUP is now brought to you by Disney, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. It's
One
also
white
why
man.
it's also why I'm the one running it. Aurora uplinks for $5. Your guys' opening banter on teenagers makes it feel like you're describing the scenario of how the movie Battle Royale almost starts, or maybe RoboCop. Yep.
I can't remember
the 70-person fight breaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Battle Royale was that was a really clever movie. It came out like right as I was graduating high school. It was like 2005 or 2006 or something, like that mid 2000s era movies. Pretty cool. It's just they dropped a bunch of like, I think it was South Korean. I didn't remember if it was Japanese or South Korean, but they dropped a bunch of like 100 teenagers on an island just for, a battle royale to the death. This was pre Netflix there with Squid Game.
It was. Yes, it was.
Well before Squid Games.
Yeah.
And Hunger Games.
Good movie. Yeah, good movie. Good manga as well. If you haven't read the Battle Royale manga.
When did that come out?
Nice
in the 90s.
I love it.
I'm trying to get the trans representation on the panel.
It's funny.
Aurora Uplinks member for 9 months said would like some low budget, lore accurate Star Wars.
That would be lovely. Yes. Yeah. Less
That's
CGI,
what Andor
less,
should have been
less
if it didn't cost so much.
Well, that's the thing about Andor. I mean, that's one of the things that I think does make it. I mean, I think it's a brilliant show. I don't think they need to spend anything like that amount of money on it. It's not even big in terms of big action set pieces and things like that. The great stuff about that show is all in the writing, and you don't need to spend that much to do it. That is a movie budget, and it's a high movie budget. Stop spending that amount of money on TV shows that nobody watches, even if they are good.
Yeah, I agree.
There are some amazing comments in the chat today.
Common people.
I feel like Star Wars is just dead, guys. I feel like you should let it go.
Yeah,
It's
I
gone
agree.
now.
I mean, it probably is, yeah, but I'm not going to let it go because I like it.
It's like getting really attached to like a Tupac holographic performance. It's like he died a long time ago, guys. It's okay to look at it and be like, that's neat, but it's never going to be the same.
It's true.
Probably so.
Film Comics Explained for an ass 20. Thank you. The first Gladiator only cost $100 million. I don't understand why the sequel cost so much more. It's only assuring it'll be a flop. What happened to Ridley Scott? He used to be an innovative director making gold from limited budgets.
He started huffing his own parts. That's what happened.
It's where most of them started, like Steven Spielberg and
also,
Lucas and all
just a
that.
reminder, he was an interesting character from the get-go because he wanted to have Ridley fuck the alien in Alien in 1979.
Oh, you mean Ripley?
Yeah.
Remember
yeah.
that. He was
Uh,
weird from the get-go.
Like real talk though, if you
Yeah.
wanted to do something that you love doing and someone was like, here's $300 million to do it, you'd probably be like, okay. Like, I'm sure he's arguing for a budget, but it seems like they're not very hard to get these days.
No,
It's
they
like
aren't.
they were probably more stingy back in the day, like studios were probably more stingy back in the day. And you had to justify things and only could get a certain amount of money. But now, I don't know. If I wanted to make a really good YouTube video and someone was like, you want $100 million to do it? I'd be like, yeah,
Yes.
I guess. Why not? That's fun.
Yeah, I'll spend 20,000 on the YouTube, and I keep the rest for myself. That's what you probably do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I pay myself $900 an hour.
Yeah.
Sean Calloway for $10. Thank you. I just watched Boy Kills World, and I don't recall a lot of people talking about it after it released. I really enjoyed it. What did the panel think?
I
have
heard of
not
it.
seen
I haven't seen it. Is this on streaming?
It's out
or
on
is it...
it's on digital now. I don't know what it's
Yeah.
on, but I went to see it in the theater. It's a really fun movie. I rewatched it a couple days ago actually. It holds up on rewatch. It's got some pacing issues. I feel like it tones down a little bit of the better action scenes as well. But overall, solid movie. Bill Skarsgård. It's like this dystopian basically a totalitarian country he lives in, and his family was murdered by the woman that runs the country. So he grows up under the eye of, or under the watch of, basically this what's the word, like a sensei, essentially. Learns how to fight, and then it's just kind of like nonstop cool action, fun soundtrack, fun dialogue. I recommend it.
It just sounds like
Okay.
Scotland.
Yeah. Yes, I haven't seen it. I'll catch it. The last film I saw was Ford versus Ferrari, which I hadn't seen in the cinema, but I watched it on Netflix. And I thought it was a great movie, personally. I thought great performances all around. I recommend it. It's really good.
That is all the super chats I wanted to pull up. We're trying something different. I wanted to just like actually do them as they were coming in. So saving them all at the end. So you see how it goes, you know?
Yeah. At the end. You know what? I saw a post. I'm just talking about shit now. I saw a poster today, and it was the very first Raiders Lost Ark poster I saw. And I don't know if you guys remember it. It was, and the tagline was the creators of Jaws and Star Wars now brings you the ultimate hero in the ultimate adventure. And the reason why I got so excited when I saw this poster was because it was the very first time I saw that poster when I was at school, going to school, and it was there. And I was wondering what it was about, because I remember reading about it. Because like they made Star Wars, so I thought, is this another science fiction? But when I saw the poster, I was like, what the hell is this? Who is this? Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it just took me back to when I was a kid. You know, you ever get that when you see something or you hear a bit of music and it takes you all the way backwards in time? And you just, you just sit there and you go, oh, why can't days be like that anymore?
Even most of us weren't alive when things were really good.
I know.
That's the problem, right? Like, I can't actually imagine how exciting it must have been to see that on a poster. The creators of Star Wars and Jaws, which were fairly new things, like so optimistic, so like groundbreaking, brilliant movies getting together to do this brand new thing. It must be so thrilling. And I was trying to think, like, if there were an equivalent poster for something today, I don't even know what two directors I'd pick for it. Because the best ones tend to be working in fairly drab and quite dystopic genres, and they're very good technical directors, and they're not particularly optimistic people. I don't know that we could have anything like that, because it's 2024. Welcome to modernity.
I mean, it's obviously I'm the oldest one here, so I remember those things. But you guys, I mean, especially Cynic, you lived through the 80s, right?
I was born in 87.
87.
The one that I remember, my earliest memory was the Batman symbol for the Keaton Batman movie. And then Ninja Turtles was like special to me, but the next one after that was Jurassic Park. That was that movie poster. I had never been more excited for, I don't think I have been more excited for a movie. I was like 6 years old when it came out, little kids just fucking love dinosaurs. So I'm already obsessed with dinosaurs. And then the images when you're 6 in 1993 and CGI had never been seen like that. I was like, holy, dinosaurs are real. Oh my God. So
but that came at the same time as the Mario Brothers, didn't it? Mario Brothers was out as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So,
I remember in the town I grew up in, they only showed one movie at a time. It was just they had one showing a day, and they showed one movie for a week, so you had 7 chances to catch it. And they'd show like the current and the next week's, and it was the Super Mario movie and Jurassic Park, like back to back. What a time to be alive.
Kind of technically, I think Jurassic Park might even have been the first film I ever saw when I was basically a baby at that point.
Damn, that's
first things I remember getting like properly excited for were the Star Wars prequels. So again, like late 90s, and it's still Spielberg and Lucas. And it's not even anyone who came up since then. So like the people from the 70s through 90s are providing the same sort of, excitement and entertainment. Then the prequels actually happened, of course, and things went a bit bad.
A lot of people like the prequels, though.
I love them. They're just really bad.
Yeah, they are really bad, actually. But as I said, it's a shame that people don't experience that anymore. Again, the whole playing field's changed anyway, isn't it? It's completely changed now. So I don't know.
I feel genuine excitement for Nosferatu at the end of the year, in all honesty.
Oh yeah,
like seeing all the images. Yeah.
Who's in that again?
So it's Robert Eggers directing. It's Bill Skarsgård as Orlok, and then Lily Rose Depp, Aaron Taylor Johnson. There's one more name I'm missing. But I love that original movie. Is my favorite movie of all time, and he's the one guy that will do justice to it. So I'm like I feel it in my bones.
What, the black and white one, the original one, is your
the
favorite?
1922 one. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it once.
Love that movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting movie.
How much do you think this all has to do with like the state of society versus not having creators that are willing to do like positive stories or heroic stories? So if you look at how the world was and everyone was financially in like 80s to 90s, it's no wonder people were happy. And now everything sucks. So like movies are kind of down, and it might just be like a reflection, like, because the most artistic best directors aren't really doing things like Star Wars where you have a positive message and it's kind of like a trope in its storytelling. They're kind of leaning more towards depressing, like realistic, introspective type things, which I don't know if that's as much as people aren't capable or there's no one capable, because I'm sure there's plenty of directors that would be capable of doing that, but the best directors are always the ones that are going to make it an art form and kind of reflect the things that they're feeling and
they're scared,
society's feeling at the time.
They're scared, Backface. They're scared. Like, I saw a recent interview. This is a recent interview with Tarantino, and the guy that was presenting. He said to him, "What do you think of today's movies?" And Tarantino flatly said, "I'm not going to talk about that, but I will tell you one thing. We're going through a stage now, just like in the 70s and the 60s. It will change." So even Tarantino was scared to talk about this woke, blah, blah, blah. So if he's scared, shit, I tell you, they must have a stronghold in Hollywood. These people.
I feel like he wasn't so much afraid of the wokeness as he's thinking like movie budgets and, everyone going through the phase of Westerns and it all being kind of homogenized. And then it always ends up splitting off into smaller budget, more interesting,
passion
not
is
IP
not
driven
in the mainstream anymore. Yeah, I agree.
That's how I took that interview, at least.
I think you're right, absolutely, about like the times that you live in do have an immense impact on the sorts of art that get produced in those times. There were some pretty bleak and dark and dirty and scummy films released in the 1970s, because the 1970s was not anywhere near as optimistic a time as the 1980s was, and the 60s was more optimistic than the 70s and tended to give you well, in America the 60s was more optimistic. The UK was quite bleak also in the 60s. But like, the times you live in massively influence. It's why I always thought it would make a lot of sense to release like a sequel to Dread now, because at the moment people are particularly heightened awareness of societal decay, high crime rates, and things like that, which tend to create those movies and then make those movies more popular. It's kind of the right time to do a film like that. But we get quite dystopic and negative and cynical science fiction movies because that's the time in which we live. Star Wars, the difference between the OT, which is fundamentally hopeful and optimistic, created in the 70s, late 70s and 80s, and the prequels, which is when Lucas is very concerned about the decline of America under George Bush into totalitarianism, become this bleak, tragic thing where politics is ultimately the destroyer of the republic. So like all of these things feed into each other. And you need it's why like the statement is usually politics is downstream from culture, but I think that's sort of too simplistic. It sort of goes both ways. There's a feedback loop. Politics can create optimistic times that create optimistic art, which can create optimistic times which create optimistic politics. But it's not a one-way direction of travel. Until someone comes along and decides to make the world a better place, we're probably going to be stuck with dystopias for a little while.
Vex, I hear you have to leave.
Yes, I'm very sorry. Yes,
okay.
I got editing to do. I can't hire people like Bagface to make videos for me.
You can't hire like Bagface. I need this in 8 hours.
That would suck if that ever happened. That'd be so crazy. Damn. Wow.
That would be wild.
Thank you for having me back on the second, third coming of BSUP at this point now.
Yeah, the third coming. Yeah, I'm coming. That's right. So what do you have going on that you need editing for, or that anything that you'd like to tell us about? If not that.
I mean, I'm making salmon for dinner. I can tell you that's something I'd like to tell you about. But,
yeah.
So, no. Video out tomorrow. I'm coming back to YouTubing. So video out tomorrow. But I'll be on MMM later tonight over on Cannoli Sasquatch's channel. We're reviewing 2018's A Quiet Place, which is a movie that does not hold up on rewatch at all.
Oh, interesting. I remember liking that.
It's one of those movies where it's like, oh, this sounds great, this looks great, the tone is great, and then you think about it and you're like, this is fucking dumb. Why did anyone make this movie? So yeah. But again, thank you for having me. Hopefully you guys will be back next week as well. And to everyone here and in chat, have a lovely evening.
Yes, you as well. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Ta-da.
Boy, and then there were four.
Four
dudes.
What's on the docket? What's left on the docket?
I mean, those are the things, unless you guys had any topics you wanted to talk about.
Well, I saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I don't know if you guys saw it in the cinema.
I still haven't, because it's like just one of those movies again where I'm like, I'll wait for streaming. I literally have a fucking movie pass where you pay like the $25 a month subscription service or whatever, and then you can see a movie every day. I don't know, still haven't gone to see it.
It's all right, actually. It's entertaining. It does have key things in there that people have pointed out, like the key to everything and all that stuff. But it is very, very entertaining, and the visual effects are mind blowing. I mean, there's a shot where it's just a huge close up of one of the ape's eyes, and everything just looks so real. I mean, it's amazing what they can do these days. It really is. And I hate to think how many people were working on the effects. Must be hundreds and maybe even thousands of people working on that film. But it is worth your time. It lulls in the middle, but towards the ending, when I was walking out, I was quite satisfied with the film. I thought it was very entertaining. But I don't know whether you guys want to try and catch it in the cinema or
has it made money? How is that one performing?
I don't know how it's performing.
I think it's $80 million away from breaking even, but most will make up like around 80 to 100 million when you send them to POV and streaming or VOD POV.
Yeah.
Yeah. My thing too is like, how does it compare to the other movies in the franchise?
It's not as good as the last one.
And also box office wise, it didn't even make the last one made 490 million, and this one's sitting at 337, and it's still going. So I mean, it's starting over. Again, this is another movie where I think people thought it, oh god, the sky's falling. Like theaters are in trouble because they don't have those huge tent poles like Deadpool and Wolverine. Those normally do that, like anchor down the months. But this movie's performing kind of how you would expect it to, honestly. Yeah. It was never going to make a lot of money. The problem with these summer movies is the fact that the giant tentpole movies moved because of the strike. So those are just gone. And like the summer movie season, the slate got moved when the Marvels bombed, and everything kind of got moved around because the MCU, wherever they are positioned, determines where a lot of other companies are going to go because they're like the top dog. So
yeah,
all kinds of factors there. This movie really is just doing what it's expected to do.
Yeah. Again, you know, I recommend it. I mean, I don't know. You guys are tougher critics than me. You might really hate it, but I thought it was okay. Personally.
I feel like it's pretty solid, like script wise. It's a little long, but
yes,
just it's almost like Avatar, but more well thought out, and you just kind of can get caught up in how it looks. Like if I find myself bored with what's actually happening, like in the script or in the story, I'm just like, wow, this looks really pretty. And it holds you long enough.
So you've seen it then?
Yeah, I've seen it. My mom is a gigantic Planet of the Apes fan, so I've seen all of them from like 70s all the way up. What
did you think of the ending? I don't want to give any spoilers away, but I just thought the ending was really odd. Not the bit where the woman knocks on the door and a big metal door opens. Not that bit. The climax itself. What did you think of that?
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
It kind of it's almost like it gets bored with itself and it's like, okay, let's just get to this. And then it jumps into kind of a different tone.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind. I don't know. I've seen a lot of really bad Planet of the Apes movies, so I thought this one was pretty fucking good. It focuses more on the apes, which is more interesting to me, I guess.
Also, again, right, there's that scene in it where they I can't remember the main ape's name, talks to the woman, and he goes, Do you think ape and humans can get on? And she says, I don't know. It's like, what the fuck? Just say it. We can. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would you say that? Do you know what I mean? It just that didn't make any sense to me at all.
Because there's a sequel. If she said yes,
exactly.
then
That's
it's not sequel bait,
why, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's the only reason why she said it.
Man, I watched. I don't know if it was Film Critic or like Film Comics. I don't feel it was one of those channels, but just a breakdown of the actual entirety of the Planet of the Apes like franchise, and it was. I didn't realize it was kind of the franchise before Star Wars was a franchise in the way that it was, where there was like comics and toys and cartoons, and it was one of the first sci-fi. It's weird that it's not more of a zeitgeist trope or like topic, I guess, because you think it would be. It's like so long lasting, and it somehow still makes enough money to keep chugging along, but it never really breaks through to that mainstream, like everybody loves it and talks about it like Star Wars.
Well, I think the effects look really cool now, but the old ones, I mean, they look silly as fucking. They look so terrible. Goofy. The old 1977 Star Wars, Darth Vader still looks like a badass.
True, that's true.
Yeah,
even that Mark Wahlberg one, man, I love that shit.
Oh yeah,
did you?
Marky Mark, oh, dude.
Remember the makeup effects were really amazing in that, though.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, they still just look like people monkeys, though. You know, they don't look like monkeys.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, but I don't know. I think everything that's meant to be exciting in the cinema is not anymore. You'd think that people would be quite excited about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes because the others did really well, but nobody's talking about it. I don't know anyone that in my circle that's talking about it at all. It's really sad state of affairs for cinema, isn't it? And movies, to tell you the truth today. Which kind of breaks my heart because I love cinema. I love going to the cinema. It's been a long time since I've been to the cinema where the cinema is packed with people.
Same.
You know?
Yeah. Barbie and Oppenheimer. Those are the last two.
Oh, was it?
It was just absolutely. It was hard to find a. I went to a early show on like Thursday at 3:00 for Dune, so I think no one was there. But Barbie and Oppenheimer, I couldn't even find a. I was having difficulty finding a showing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I because I was trying to see it as early as I possibly could, and just everything was sold out. Everything.
But like even when I went to see Oppenheimer and Dune, right? Mind you, though, I did see a special preview of Dune, and the cinema was packed with BAFTA people. So, but it was after the film had finished, people liked it, but it was kind of like the atmosphere was like, okay, it was good. That was it. But I'm talking about the days when you'd go and see a Bond film and people come out smiling. Do you know what I mean? You know, something about Mary, people were crying with laughter. You know, Coming to America, people were literally screaming with laughter. Do you know what I mean? Those days are gone. And
I feel like they'll probably come back. The more this sounds antithetical, but I feel like this is how it's going to go and kind of where Tarantino was going. Whereas the more giant blockbusters that bomb, the more scared investors are going to get, and they pull out of these companies and production companies, and then they're going to have to lower budgets, and then with lower budgets you get more creatives and more people have opportunities to make one-offs that actually, I feel like the smaller the budgets get, the better the movies will get, is kind of where I'm heading with that. And we're on that path right now. After this year, I'm sure that people are going to start shrinking down a little bit.
Yeah.
Next year will be really interesting. That's when, I don't know, some actual movies come out.
Like what? Like what?
Well, I mean, like at least movies that are expected to do something. Because that's my point about these movies, like the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare and The Fall Guy and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Like these movies are performing the way they actually probably would just in general. So it's not that I don't see people not wanting to go to the movies. It's that there are no movies people want to see in the theater. Like it really is that
you could
simple.
be right there. Yeah. I mean, the Fall Guy was terrible as far as I was concerned. It was awful.
That shit was good.
No, it wasn't.
Ryan Gosling's so dreamy. Oh my God. I could watch him do anything.
If I see another man cry on screen, I'm going to throw something at the screen, for God's sakes. Seriously.
Hey, maybe you need a good cry. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
I cry every day. Every time I see a bad movie. That's every day. I don't know. I just thought it was just the holes in the plots of that film was just too jarring for me. I just couldn't enjoy it because just none of it made any sense to me at all.
Do you think we end up with studios? I guess studios don't really invest in TV shows unless they're streaming platform as well. But I feel like there's, I don't know, more good TV shows coming out recently than there is good movies.
There is, yeah.
It's like maybe we'll slowly just see that switch where people like that are really invested in writing something will just stretch it out into a TV show and dive into it more versus trying to go towards the movie path. I feel like it's probably easier to get a show made than it is a movie made these days too.
I think it is as well.
So many streaming platforms versus like 4 movie studios.
Exactly.
Was one of the biggest shows in Baby Reindeer? Have you seen Baby Reindeer?
Oh my God, dude, that show is so good.
That's so
Cynic, you haven't seen that shit yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
Man, like the best thing I've seen come out of anywhere for years is fucking incredible, dude. I watched it twice back to back and just cried like
you
a
watched
baby.
it twice?
Oh yeah, I watched it twice. I had to make sure that it was.
I heard it's good,
dude.
It is good. Yeah. It is good, but it's fucked up too. It really is. Come on,
the fact
you got to admit.
So like the catch, I don't know if you guys know about it, but the guy who stars in the show is playing himself, and he wrote the entire show, and it came from him doing like a one-man show about his life, and they turned it into a Netflix show, and he plays himself. And it's just the most wild, absolutely buck wild shit. And then there's so much lore on the outside that's just kept me engaged. Like it's about a stalker, but he doesn't say who the stalker actually is, but then she like freaks out and goes on Piers Morgan. She did like an hour-long interview with Piers Morgan, and you're like, she is psychotic. It's so good, man. But shit like that, I feel like, especially Barbie and Oppenheimer, movie studios don't understand how to market. I guess when we were talking about trailers, I was thinking about this. Like, the trailers never really hit like they should. And the only movies that seem to do really well, despite how large they make a marketing budget, are ones that pop off online. There's some kind of online mainstream like TikTokification of topics like that. I feel like those are the only ones that ever do really well.
Yeah.
And that's been tried and true because there have been variations of that. TikTok hasn't been around forever, but when The Dark Knight came out in 2008, they had a very interesting viral marketing campaign. It wasn't just advertising, 30-second spots on TV. They had people actually participate in it involved the internet and everything, but it made it more of a cultural moment from like January all the way to its release on like July 18th that year. It was just it was all about the Dark Knight. And this comment, you brought it up earlier too, Bagface, and yeah, this is like the unspoken obvious truth. Like shit's really fucking expensive, and people just don't see a product that is worth their money, so they go spend it somewhere else. And Hollywood did that to themselves. They created a situation where like movie theaters could get by on little movies because they didn't have $350 million blockbusters opening every week. And now that those giant blockbusters are bombing and they stopped making these smaller movies and can't survive off them, like this is what's going to happen. So,
yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Are marketing budgets largely wasted? That's actually a really good question.
I don't know.
Because you can have something go viral and just let people take over, but like, how do you do that?
I feel like it depends how you use it. Like Deadpool, Wolverine, their marketing budget is going towards super specific things that are meant to go viral, and they somewhat do because they're kind of more tapped into the feeling of their audience, I feel. But then there's something like Fall Guy where I saw that movie everywhere for weeks before it came out. There was ads all over Montreal. Every movie that I went to, Fall Guy would play before, and somehow it still bombed. So I feel like
because it wasn't a very good movie. It was a terrible movie.
I don't think it bombed because it wasn't good, though. I feel like it bombed because it's just a streaming movie. That's what it looks like.
Look, okay, right. So it's a film about stunts, right? And the stunts weren't good enough to be in a movie. They weren't.
They got the world record for car rolls.
So what? James Bond had it before.
Fucking sign me up. I can't wait to go see that.
No, it just, as I said, right, the stunts weren't spectacular enough. That's what I thought. You know, for a movie about a stunt man, you would have thought that the stunts would be really spectacular. Like for instance, James Bond jumping off in GoldenEye. That was spectacular. And For Your Eyes Only, when he comes off that was spectacular, right? Those things were spectacular. But in Fall Guy, it was just the stuff you see on TV, wasn't it? Let's face it. Or don't you agree?
Yo, that has not failed to get me into a theater yet. Sydney Sweeney. If there is star power left in the world, it is attached to Sydney Sweeney's body.
Money can't buy marketing like that.
No.
They should actually sell ad placements on them, I think. Like billboards, but boob boards.
She's doing Barbarella, isn't she? Barbarella, the movie? No, nobody knows Barbarella?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I think she's executive producing it, isn't she?
Yeah, and who's directing it? That guy directed Shaun of the Dead. Can't remember his name. But
wait, there was one movie that we didn't bring up that I meant to bring up. Twisters. The Twister sequel. Glenn Powell.
That's not going to do well.
Gangbusters, bro.
You reckon? You reckon?
No, but I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it twice.
Stupidly high budget as well.
Yeah.
Considering that the original is just sort of shameless, corny fun, which is not serious. And it's like, it looks low budget. I don't know if it was low budget at the time. I imagine it was, but I'm pretty sure Twisters has a budget in the hundreds of millions for a fucking sequel to a movie that everyone remembers as a joke. I don't see this working.
$200 million.
There you go.
$200 million.
$200 million for
so
Twisters.
Fucking crazy. That's higher than Furiosa.
That's fun.
You can buy an extra cow to be flung around by a tornado. Why not?
Well, am I the only one that thinks that main star in that film looks? I don't know, but his face annoys me for some reason. Dude. Do you?
Yeah,
he looks like he looks like X-Men villain. Like,
okay,
yeah, he looks like he's chameleon, like in disguise. You know what I mean? Like he's wearing like a human suit.
Have you seen the fan art of him as Cyclops though? It's fucking baller, dude. If you cover his eyes, man, I would like him as Cyclops. That'd be cool. He's pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. His face annoys me for some reason. He's in the Netflix thing, isn't he?
Man, this is coming from a Brit. I feel like in the world, y'all have the highest ratio of weird looking faces to anywhere else.
God, yes. God. That's what makes us unique. So there you go. Yeah, we do. We do.
It's remarkable what
Teeth
variety
as well.
you can produce with such a small gene pool.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know. That film looks rubbish, though. Let's face it. Again, the first film was just fun, wasn't it? And this one, I don't know what they're doing with this one at all. I really don't. Saw the trailer. I was like, no, don't want to see this at all. So it's all inbreeding.
It's an island. What else are you gonna do?
It's a big island, though. Very big. Island.
Clearly not big enough.
No, obviously not. Oh,
AJ Hawk's Toxic Finger for $5. Platoon's voice, cadence, and accent is perfect. Hart, his voice. He should do audiobooks for a side gig.
Thank you very much. I have no time for any side gigs. I barely have time for the current gigs, but one day I might consider it.
Larry for $20. Larry's lurking Larry. And he made you look. He sure did.
Yeah.
Thank you, Larry. That one Ginger Draven for $4.99. Thank you, one Ginger Draven. Glad y'all are back. A very serious question for the panel. What's everyone's fave porn parody movie title?
I don't watch porn. Oh, do I?
I definitely don't know any titles.
Flesh Gordon.
Isn't there like
there was the Pirates?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Pirates. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's not even a parody title, but
isn't there like it's either like it's Sperm Trek or Star Trek: The Search for Sperm? Like I'm sure there's one like that.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of Zach and Miri Make a Porno? Isn't that from that?
I have no idea.
They do the Star Wars parody porn in that movie.
Yeah.
Prawn. Apologize. You're already demonetized. I don't know what I'm doing.
Does that mean they get money then if you're demonetized? You don't get any of this money.
Oh no, the super chat should be fine. It just probably won't get stuff on ads on the way up. Sadly.
Right.
Yeah, we could actually take 2 seconds and edit that out, but Aurora Uplinks for $5. Again, thank you, Aurora Uplinks. I miss movies where someone who doesn't fit easily in a location moves in, job hunts, and starts to acclimate to the locals. Lots of good stories.
Yeah, give me an example of that film. Maybe I'm just not getting what this person's saying.
Pretty Woman?
Oh, right.
She doesn't really job hunt, I guess. But...
No, she did. Well,
she
did. She did. She did. Yeah. Saving Private. Oh, yes, of course. The famous one.
Nice.
Yeah. I do remember watching Flesh Gordon, though. I remember somebody had it on pirate when I was in my teens, and somebody showed it, and it was very interesting, put it that way. So yeah.
Is there like Snow White and the Seven Dicks? I bet there is.
Oh, definitely.
Probably.
I'm surprised the chat isn't bursting with these. Oh wait, they are.
And these are just the ones that get through YouTube's blog. Schindler's Fist.
Oh dear. And a Dusky Bum. That's funny. Raider. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that one's real.
That's probably a real one somewhere.
Yeah, it's probably a real one, definitely.
That was it for the topics I had for the week.
All right.
Cruised in at a little over 2 hours. Not bad for a return, I suppose. Unless there's anything else you guys wanted to talk about.
Nope.
No.
Bring back the emo swoop.
Yeah. It went from emo swoop to just like anime. It's like the progression.
Mid Super Saiyan.
Once. Like I was like halfway through dyeing hair. At one point, it was what was it? It was red at the front, blonde in the middle, and blue at the back. Or no, blue at the front, blonde in the middle, red at the back. And in like a high wind, it was just basically Yu-Gi-Oh. It was fun.
To be fair, the blue hair was not for YouTube or anything. It was because I moved to Nashville to play music and I needed to stand out on the street. And then YouTube, literally the month that I was moving down, that Thor Love and Thunder video popped off, and then I have not fucking played music once. since I moved here.
Just gave up on my dreams immediately.
Yeah, just gave up on my dreams and pursued something else. But at least they gave me that plaque, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
You
got a plaque, little platoon?
I do. It sits next to me on top of my piano.
Oh man, you got to edit that into your background.
You have to, yeah.
How? I can't. I can.
You can put it on top of the TV.
I could just take a picture of it and stick it as like a shitty little JPEG.
I'll do it in Photoshop for you. Just send me the image.
Thank you. I will find a way of doing that.
So how much do you have to get a plaque then? So which is there like different levels of plaques?
Silver is 100,000, isn't it? Is gold 1 million and platinum 5 million?
10 million. I think it's 10 million.
Yeah. 10 million, right. Wow. So you guys got silver then, yeah?
They did, but they downgraded it like the year before we both got them because I think they used to actually be made of some sort of metal and now they're not. But you know, it's still it looks okay. It looks nice enough.
And you know what? It doesn't like the accomplishment doesn't feel quite as much because I found out that like something like 80% of channels that have 100K subscribers now are from like fucking shorts. So there's like some abundance of like some wild, yeah.
But they don't count. They should have special needs awards for people to do shorts because they don't. They're not. There's no effort.
They should give them a little short version of it.
I met my YouTube partner manager, a little short,
little tiny
version. It could be half of the plaque. And I met my YouTube partner manager for the first time because I've had one for like a year at this point, and I just never bothered to meet them. And then like the Rebel Moon copyright shit happened. And I got really annoyed and I wanted someone to shout at us. It's like, fuck it, I'm booking a meeting. Poor woman, doesn't actually know what to deal with. Met her for the first time. Like the sole advice was, oh yeah, by the way, you can turn on adverts for booze in the back end, which I didn't know you could do. I thought that was there automatically. So I've turned those on. And have you considered making shorts? I was like, have you seen my channel? Do you know my average video length? No, I haven't fucking considered making shorts. I don't think I ever will.
Hold on. So who's this woman that you met then? Is she part of YouTube or something?
Yeah, there's a partner manager program that they give you where you can meet them and they give you advice for how to keep your channel growing and stuff like that, which I've never really needed.
It's always advice that you get when you search on YouTube, like how to be a YouTuber. It literally is like the most fucking rudimentary advice that you could possibly get. Like that was useful. Yeah. But like, I only met with them once and it was, they were like, have you tried doing premieres? It's really good to, get in touch with your audience. I was like, I have a live show, dude. What are you talking about? Like, so it's just super, it's not actually useful so far.
No, they're very nice. And they did give me an email address for which to direct my hate mail campaign against the copyright system. And I emailed it and I got an automated response. So even the actual email address you can use to deal with YouTube copyright stuff is a robot. It's fantastic. What a lovely platform it is.
So did you have to meet this person in London then? Because I know there's a YouTube base in London.
No, because there's a thing now that's called the internet, so we can just use Zoom.
Right, gotcha. because I used to have a channel a very long time ago, right? And when you reached a certain amount of subscribers, you were invited to the actual place itself, the YouTube channel place, and you can meet all the other people and that's what I did. And I don't do that anymore then.
I don't think they do. I think they've fired all the real people. They are all just automated systems.
All right, okay. Oh, so everything's changed then.
Indiana, my favorite one.
Indiana Jones.
Temple of Doom.
Yeah, get that plaque up, little platoon. Get it up on your TV. You got to have it on the TV.
I do want to thank our guests for popping in here for a couple hours and chatting with us. Mega, where can we find you, and what are you up to?
Well, I'm doing Rebecca Gold season 2. I don't know if you know. I've got a channel called Rebecca Gold, and it's a web series, and it has season 1's already on there, and that won loads of awards. And I'm doing season 2 now, so you can hop on that channel. I've got my feature films on there as well, plus Bad Days still screening on Netflix and Tubi in the States, which is my feature film, which is great. Haven't seen a penny yet, but hopefully I will see something by the end of the year, which will probably be 5 pence or some nonsense like that. But yeah, I'm on X, and on Instagram and on Facebook. So there you go. That's me. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Oh,
Appreciate
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Backface, what are you up to?
I'm forever waiting for Cynic videos.
Oh, this is
feels
how
like-
it works, guys. I call him and I give him a schedule and then don't fucking comply at all.
It's like
And we
living
do
in
that next week.
purgatory at all times. I'm just every day I wake up and I'm like, am I gonna have to finish a video in 6 hours today? Or can I go outside? And most days I go outside. Sometimes I get a little scared and I don't. But yeah, no. Check me out on Scene Invaders. If you like happy things. We cover a lot of really good shows. Apple TV has spectacular fucking shows right now, and not enough people talk about them. So if you want to find something new to watch, feel free to stop by. And yeah, that's about it. I have to go unpack my entire house. I moved all my shit like out of frame because everything's just a fucking mess still.
I was gonna say it looks great, dude.
It does look good.
It looks really
It does, man.
So yeah, that's my next week. Yeah.
And I will get you a video to edit, I swear. No,
Going after you.
And the owner of the channel, Little Platoon. What are you doing?
Yeah, what am I doing? God, too many things. Too many things are happening. Too many streams. That's a thing.
Acolyte.
So that's like massively slowed down video production. And my editor's on holiday, and I lost basically a month to the Rebel Moon thing. So it's all full on, full go, full all the time go. That in theory there's a Doctor Who thing, but as illustrative of how far behind I am, I started it with episode 1. I've got about 10 minutes left to edit for the episode 1 video. There are now, 6 more episodes, and then there's 2 more after that. So that's going to take a while. I'm behind there. The Acolyte will probably come first. There was also supposed to be a June video this month, but that will probably have to take a backseat so I can catch up on everything else. But yeah, I'm going to be reevaluating my my many other commitments so I can start getting back to more regular content and more regular BSUP. And actually go outside. I don't think I've left this seat for the last 2 weeks. Like it's fun. Great time being a YouTuber at the moment. Fantastic.
So it really is exactly like the Avatar.
Yeah, basically that. And equivalent neck movement at this point. And just general bodily movement actually as well. Anything more than like that, it's just pain.
Don't put that. You don't put that. What is that wine you got in there? What is that? What have you got in there?
That's bottle number 15 at this point. It's just it's one of those periods of life.
Right.
I should actually swap it for like the really frazzled, drunk version of the Avatar that I've got. Problem is he's only a still, so like he doesn't do any. But then again, I can't move either, so I might do that.
And there's so many fucking good comments here. Robocock is good. Yeah, that is good.
That's a good one.
Slutty
The slutty professor.
I'll have an Acolyte review and another video that I've been meaning to get out for 5 months.
Well, you're not going to be on Brown's channel.
I mean, I'll be in. Wednesday I'm going to Boston because the Celtics are in the finals, and I'm gonna fucking go see one game. And so I'll probably be out of town for Brown's stream. Yeah,
I'm gonna suffer that shit. Bloody hell.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll watch. I'll send in a super chat or something.
I guarantee the stream will be way more fun than the show. It'll be great.
I would guarantee that too. Yeah. But hey, thanks for everyone in the chat who stuck around and welcoming us back with open arms. And we'll try and not be, erratic on time every week. An American cynic in Boston. I love New England. It's where I'm from. I would have a Maine accent, but yeah, now we're getting Celtics love. Yeah. I've been waiting 16 years for the Celtics to win a championship. So I have to go attend. Of course, they do it after I finally move out of New England. But yeah, we will see you next week. I will probably just be audio only. I'll see if I can bring my camera with me, but I'll make sure I'm actually here. And yeah, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Ta-da.
Bye.